Starling Stadium for this huge Peninsula District football game between the Woodside Wolverines and the Phoebus Phantoms here on LSC. I'm Wube Bray along with my partner, Kyler Thompson, for this vital Peninsula District battle. Kyler, Woodside, Phoebus, two of the best teams in the district so far this year.
Yeah, I think you said it right earlier, Wube. It's definitely one of the more key matchups in the Peninsula District, not only just for talent and team-wise, but also this could have playoff implications later on down the line. And you know teams like this are looking forward to state championships from the second they step out the locker room.
Absolutely. Both teams are currently ranked third in their respective divisions. You have Phoebus in the 3A division, they're third, and you have Woodside, who is third. They're undefeated. Phoebus has that one loss against Lake Taylor, but since then, Kyler, they've been rolling through all their opponents.
Absolutely. Actually, they've outscored their opponents 300-49 since that game against Lake Taylor. So you can say that the Phoebus Phantoms have a different chip on their shoulder.
They're definitely two talented teams tonight on the field. We have, with Phoebus, they got that 1-2 punch. Jalen White, Anthony A.J. Turner. They're both hard to stop. You have a 3-year starter in Daniels. Chris Daniels, the quarterback, he's a senior. He has some new weapons. He had two studs that graduated that went off to Division I. But he has some new talent. Kamari Gray's a sophomore, and Devontae White, who is a senior, who's been around for a while, but he's been battling some tough kids in front of him. But, again, Phoebus always has the weapons, always has the line play, and that's going to be key tonight.
Absolutely. That's one thing that Phoebus has been able to develop over a longevity of time is the trenches, the big guys up front, and having a constant rotation of skill players.
And then you look over at Woodside, Kyler. You know, they come in undefeated once again and have not let anybody score on them in a while. And you have Khalif Jemison, who transferred from HRA a couple years ago. He is their quarterback. Tyler Thompson was the quarterback last year. Now he moved over to running back. So both of those guys are the key for their offense.
Absolutely. And Thompson is a senior running back who's just under 500 yards for the season with 9 touchdowns rushing. So he's been productive at that position change.
And Jemison, unlike Woodside in the past, they throw a little bit more. Jemison's 46 for 72, 627 yards passing. He has 7 touchdown passes so far this year. And then we can't not move on without talking about the two transfers from Minchville, the Niatola brothers, both playing linebacker. We have Cole and Seth.
Absolutely. And the Niatola brothers come from a long line of rich football in the Peninsula District, with their older brother playing at Minchville High School a few years back, graduated 2016, I believe, and they actually went on and played at the University of Hawaii for a little while. So they've got a nice, rich history of football with that family, and they continue to bring that with them, and they brought it to the Woodside locker room.
The Woodside locker room, you see the captains coming out. They run that wing T, Kyler. We talked to Coach Blunt before the game. It's not unusual to see it. You see, Denby and Gloucester and a couple teams. You have Lake Taylor, who runs the veer. Coach Blunt said they scrimmaged Cox earlier in the preseason to prepare for this, but it's an unorthodox offense, and it's kind of hard to stop because you don't know where the ball is going to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in some senses, the offense can seem a bit gimmicky to some, but when you have a solid up front line, offensive line, then you might be able to get a good push, and the offense develops that way.
And you talk about push. Coach Blunt talked to both of us, and he said how their offensive line, their up front play is their strength. Offensive and defensive line, they have a lot of depth up there. You know, Austin, Josiah Silver, who could have been Defensive Player of the Year last year, but it went to Corey Wilson on the line. So that's what Phoebus has been known for, their running game and their line play, and that's what they're going to have to do tonight to stop Woodside. As we see the coin toss, Kyler, and Phoebus is going to receive the opening kick.
And you mentioned earlier Woodside was gearing more towards the untraditional things that they do, more passing the ball more. But last game, they actually only passed the ball 3 times. So you got to kind of wonder what they're going to come out with, whether they're going to be a run-heavy team, a pass-heavy team, or just plain and simple balanced.
Well, you're going to have to be balanced against this Phoebus defense, who has been lights out as well. I mean, they have some studs. Corey Wilson, we talked about him. He moved to strong safety from playing on the line in the box last year. He was the Peninsula District Player of the Year. You have, again, Austin, who's moved to linebacker. He was on the line. That's more of his natural position, and it'd be better for him on the next level. And, of course, Silver, who's just being a beast all over the field this year for Phoebus.
Absolutely.
And again, they have Jalen White, who's committed to Navy. He plays both sides. So just watch that 1-2 punch on the offensive end. But again, Phoebus is known for their defense, and I'm sure they're going to be ready tonight.
Absolutely. And when you look at Woodside's offensive line compared to Phoebus's defensive line, you're looking at about the same weight class. So I think this would be a good battle of the trenches. I think this would be a great testament of who really wants it on, who has more heart.
Well, it's definitely been a game that everyone has been talking about for weeks. Even some of the Woodside players have kind of circled this game on their calendar.
And you can definitely see they have some passion towards this game as you saw them come out with their little Woodside graveyard sign they had there, trying to shake up their team and provide some morale, some locker room morale.
And again, we talked to Coach Dodson earlier about the tradition here at Woodside. And, you know, you had a good point and a good question. You know, what makes your team so successful for so long, the longevity?
Yeah, and he actually had a really great response to that question. He kept it simple. He just said loyalty with my assistants. He didn't take the blame. He didn't take the glory. He deflected it and he put it on his coaching staff. And you guys have built a great family and a great coaching staff over there that he loves, and he tries to keep them all together as long as possible.
And speaking of those assistants, he had 2 assistants. With that success at Woodside, they moved on to head coaching jobs, one at War Hill and one at Denby. And War Hill is undefeated right now, and Denby just got a big win against Bethel, which surprised a few people around here. So
absolutely, what was that, 33-year streak that Bethel has been beating Denby?
Yep. So almost underway here at Darling Stadium. Beautiful night for football as these 2 Peninsula District powers go against each other tonight. Thursday night football here in Hampton. Little swift kick. Bounces is going to be picked up by Jalen White, the senior, the Navy commit. He goes far side, cuts it in, and almost breaks it, but gets shoestring tackled at around, what, the 33-yard line. So we'll see how Phoebus starts out. I'm sure they're going to start off with the run. Again, that 1-2 punch, Turner and White. White, the senior, Turner, the junior. And if you haven't seen Phoebus much this year, you're not missing much because all they do is the same thing they've been doing in recent years, but they're successful and they stick to it, and why change it if it's not broke? So,
absolutely, absolutely. They keep their grit and they take pride in running the ball.
And you see they're up front. Kyler, they're pretty big up front, too. You got Silver at 6'2", 230. Bradley, who's 5'10", 218. Messiah Morrell, the transfer from Hampton, 6'2", 270. And Chandler, Amir Chandler, 6'3", 238, the junior. As Daniels has to call a timeout. First play of the game, timeout. Phoebus didn't like what he saw there on the offensive end. Little confusion to go in to the first play of the game.
And before the first play from scrimmage, Phantoms call a timeout. I'll give us a chance to let you know that Hampton 16
As
sponsored by the Department of Virginia.
Phoebus takes the timeout, and we hopefully Phoebus regroups. As you see, the Woodside defense again.
You don't know what Coach Blunt saw on that one. Maybe it was something he didn't like. Maybe the guys weren't lined up the right way. And timeouts like that usually prevent catastrophic events from happening.
Absolutely. You definitely don't want that to happen in a game like this, especially early. Put your team back in a hole, as Daniel still barking out instructions, as he has Kimani Robinson and Anthony Turner in the backfield. And now the Phantoms jump.
And that was Amir Chandler, the left tackle, a 6'3" junior. See, he's got a little bit of those pregame jitters still jumping around in him.
So you call a timeout, and then you get a penalty. Not a good way to start the game for Phoebus. Again, big game. Haven't had many big games this year. You know, the first game against Lake Taylor was probably their closest game, and now you have this big PD rivalry. Just got to get the jitters out a little bit. Daniels again in the shotgun. Goes to Turner. He gets away from the Woodside defenders.
Yeah, it's about 5 yards after contact there. Some Woodside defenders swarmed up and missed him in the backfield.
And Kyler Turner already has offers from UVA and ODU, just to name a couple. He's only a junior, and he's, as Coach Blunt told us, He's a typical Phoebus back.
And if you know anything about Phoebus, you know they come from a very rich line of
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
great running backs.
Antoine Womack, Elon Lewis,
Marshawn
Tyree Lee,
Williams.
Marshawn Williams, just to name a few. Woodside showing blitz, low snap. Back to pass to Daniels. He gets away from a blitz, and he's going to get a first down and more as he goes outside. Look at the wheels on Daniels. Didn't know he was that fast. I haven't seen him run that much like that this year, but he gets away, and he can use his feet as well as his arm.
Absolutely. And you can see Daniels looked at his check down, only saw one, and then the pressure was coming in so hot, he just get a little baby stiff arm and he's out of there.
You see the replay here, Kyle. It looked like
Oh, yeah.
an opportunity for Woodside to get it, and that was it was like White or one of the defenders on Woodside had Daniels in the backfield. He got away. And that was Kenneth Bryant, I should say, the 5'7" sophomore.
And running attack that time stopped at the line of scrimmage, run by fullback number 40 for the Phoebus Phantoms.
Yeah, that's Kimani Robinson. You know, sometimes Phoebus has different sets. Sometimes they run the fullback. And that time Robinson got the carry. Robinson is a 5'9", 230 senior. He's a D tackle and a fullback. And he was stopped for a no gain on that one. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 47 for Phoebus. Again, Woodside showing blitz. They stack that line. Another low snap. Daniels goes back to pass. Incomplete. That's intended for Gray, one of those new offensive weapons for Phoebus. As again, Phoebus loses those two studs. And Barry Hargraves, who's now at Delaware State, and Latrell Smith, who's at William & Mary, having a great freshman year.
Absolutely.
But again, Phoebus reloads, and they had Gray open. It was just a low pass, and he wasn't able to corral it.
Yeah, he had the out route over there, the 5-and-out route, and that's one of the harder passes for a quarterback to pass, especially throwing the opposite sideline. He has to travel more distance.
So with that incompletion, it's 3rd and 10 now for Phoebus at the 47. Good snap this time. Daniels has time. Actually, he gets pressured, gets away again. And he's going to try to run again, and he's not going to make it. He's going to be stopped. So they're going to punt. And you see the replay here. Again, blitz. That time it was Marcus Watts, the sophomore, to flush him out. And he took a big hit.
Absolutely. Daniels took a huge hit there at the end of the play on the Woodside sideline. You can see some of the players on the sideline getting riled up over that hit.
So it's going to be a punting situation for Phoebus. As he gets set and gets the punt off. It's a high, short punt. It's going to take a Phoebus bounce. It's going to go inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. Yeah, so now we're going to see this Woodside offense as they're going to throw so many different backs at Phoebus. As again, Khalif Jemison, the senior quarterback. Yeah, Bryce Phipps, the running back, and Tyler Thompson, the former quarterback. As you see the officials, we have the referee, David Greer. Line judges, Tim Mallory, Bernard Banks, Zach Fitzke, Lee McGuire is the back judge, Mark Fry, and the field judge is Daryl Champagne. Those are your officials for tonight's big game here at Darling Stadium. So, Kyler, we get a good look at the Woodside offense. And we'll see what they come out in this first possession. Jemison fakes the pass. Fakes the handoff, and that's picked off. And that's going to be a pick six right off the bat for Phoebus. Touchdown, Phoebus.
And that is number 21, Jordan Jackson, the senior.
And again, we talked about them. I mean, them in meeting in Woodside, they're going to have to switch it up and try to throw. And Jemison threw, and it was a hand-picked interception by Jackson.
It's very simple, quick slant route. He threw it a little too high over his wide receiver. He couldn't make the Mr. Fantastic grab, and it landed right in the hands of the cornerback from Phoebus High School, number 21.
You get a good look at it here, Kyler. That's just a bad throw. It's intended for Key.
Jaden Jackson's going to have to write a very nice thank you note to them as he throws up the peace sign there at the end as he scores in the end zone.
And he's a transfer from Hampton as well. They have a few Hampton transfers on this team. 6-0 Phoebus right off the bat. First pass attempt for Woodside goes for 6. And it's good. So no wing T on that one, Kyler. Just went with the run, and they got an interception. As it's 7-0, you see the crowd here at Darling Stadium. Senior night. Here at Darling Stadium.
You gotta wonder what kind of effect that's going to have on the Woodside Wolverines, because they came out there with a nice stop on defense. Yes. You know, had a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. First play on offense to throw a pick 6. I'm sure that coach over there is just trying to get them to forget the play, get the quarterback to live into the next play. You have to have a short-term memory when you play quarterback. That's one thing you do have to have.
Oh, absolutely. And again, you're right. We'll see if they go back to the run or still try to spread Phoebus out. And I thought they was going to catch Phoebus off guard, and just a bad throw to Key, his #1 receiver. Again, Key's been having a great year so far.
Absolutely, and it's a little bit nippy out here, so I'm sure the cold played a factor in that one.
So 7-0 Phoebus, 8:24 left in the quarter. So a bad start on both ends as Phoebus was forced to call a timeout on their first possession.
Yeah,
first
Phoebus,
play. Yeah.
Absolutely. Look at Phoebus' first offensive drive. It wasn't a lot to be happy about. You know, you got a flag. Your quarterback gets rushed out of the pocket 2 times and makes something out of nothing.
Right.
And you got to think, if you're the Woodside Wolverines, you're in a pretty good spot defensively here. You put yourself in a hole, but it's a very small hole that you can easily get out of.
Absolutely. Definitely have to feel good about the defense. Is that ball look like it might go out of bounds?
Absolutely.
And it does, and that's going to be a flag and a penalty for going out of bounds. So we'll see what Woodside goes with now after the pick 6 from Phoebus.
Absolutely.
So they'll get the Woodside Wolverines will get the ball at the 35.
You see the Phoebus special teams unit, the kicker there, doing something that you see a lot of the college and high school and professional teams do nowadays, and that's try to sky kick it into a corner to pin them on the one side to prevent a huge run back.
Yeah, that time he kicked it a little too hard out of bounds. Now they go. Woodside goes back to the run. That's Thompson, the former quarterback. He doesn't get much. Almost like a jet sweep. They give him 1, so it's going to be 2nd and 9 for Woodside. Jemison under center, goes back to pass, and it's going to be complete. And they're going to still try to throw the ball, and that looks like it's going to be a late flag too.
That was complete to number 2, Tyler Thompson again. As you can see, a very versatile athlete lining up on the side.
And they're going to call maybe a helmet to helmet or afterwards.
It's actually Ricky Key who made that catch on the sideline there.
Yeah, that's Jemison's favorite receiver.
Absolutely. You can see why. He's got solid hands. He made a man miss after the catch.
Illegal helmet contact. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
15 yards added on to that throw and catch. Yeah, Key is 6 foot 170 senior. And they add 15 more yards onto that after the penalty. So 1st and 10 from the 40, the Phoebus 40 for Woodside. So Jemison goes up the middle.
That's a bit of an odd call on 1st and 10. Quarterback sneak, trying to catch a defense off. Got the Woodside team coming in here for a huddle. 2nd and 8 from the 38-yard line.
So 2nd and 8, 6:52 and running. Another pass, and it's going to be complete.
And already you see this drive that they had more passes than they had the entire last game.
Yep, you're right.
So you can see Woodside's trying to come out here and be more balanced, throw Phoebus things they haven't seen before. Maybe spread them out, tie them out, and make them cover in one-on-one.
And they're not phased by that pick six at all. As
Absolutely.
you see Jemison going back to the pass. Again, going to Key on a quick out route. As Phoebus defenders are jumping the routes and giving Key an opportunity to get the completion. I mean, the reception is going to be run up the middle, and Phoebus linebackers are all on it. So it's going to be another unnecessary roughness or after the play
After
activity.
the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense. It's half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
As Phoebus again with another 15-yard penalty on this drive.
And you can see Khalif Jemison gave Phoebus a gift.
Yeah.
And now you see the Phoebus Phantoms gifting the Woodside Wolverines right back with 30 yards worth of penalties already on this drive.
So Jemison under center. Tyler was in motion, and now Phoebus looks like they jumped.
Absolutely. That looks like number 9.
Prior to the
Kerry
snap,
Wilson,
encroachment,
6'1"
defense,
senior.
5-yard penalty, 1st
Looks like
down.
he was coming in a little antsy there for a safety blitz.
Yeah, Wilson was trying to blitz.
You see the Phoebus Phantoms with a timeout.
Timeout, Phoebus. That's their 2nd timeout of the half.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to let you know that the stadium guide, the 2019 media guide for Garland Stadium.
So again, Phoebus beating themselves on offense is Josiah Silver, one of their best defenders, is out of the game right now. And we were talking about him in pregame. Can't afford to lose a quality player like that. He's walking around. He's getting attended to now with the medical staff. But, you know, that has a lot to do with the way Woodside is moving the ball down the field as well. So it's going to be first and 5 from the 7. As Woodside methodically moving the ball, of course, being helped by some Phoebus penalties.
1st and 5 for the Wolverines.
Again, Woodside still throwing the ball, not going away from that after that pick six. Is this time it's Phipps, Bryce Phipps, the junior. Looks like he ran into his own man on that play.
Absolutely. You can accredit that tackle to a linebacker, Joshua Austin. He blew the center all the way back into the running back on that play.
Good call. Yeah, you're right.
Along with nose guard number 25, Kyrell McKinney. It's a 6'1", 250-pound man.
Good size nose guard.
They like to call those fire hydrants. Hard to move out the way. Short and stocky.
That's right. So no gain on that one. 2nd and 5 now from the 7. And now this time looks like Woodside moved.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So it's going to be a false start on Woodside. now it's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 12 for Woodside. It's going to be a fake. This time Jemison keeps it. He's planted by Harrell. Harrell saw that the whole way.
He's not fooled by that fake in the backfield, number 11.
Stevenson, along with a couple other players in there to get that hit.
Absolutely. And Coach Blunt spoke highly on Trevion Stevenson, a 6'4" junior, 205 pounds, playing that defensive end position. He said he's quick, he's elusive, and he's also very strong.
A good-sized kid. So it's going to be 3rd and 8 now from the 10 as Woodside has a little spread offense here now. So Jemison rolls out. He's going to look to pass. He's going to throw the ball. It's going to be complete. But that's going to be short of a first down. Corey Wilson, the Peninsula District Defensive Player of the Year from a year ago, makes the tackle. And that's going to be decision time for Woodside, 4th down. You see Jemison rolls out here. Not really his game, but, you know, he rolled out to a completion to Phipps. And Woodside is going to what are they going to do here? No holder. They forgot to hold. They're going to go for 3 here.
And looks like the Phoebus Phantoms give the Woodside Wolverines another opportunity there. Looks like number 5, Joshua Austin.
Encroachment against the defense. Half the distance.
It's going to be 4th and 1 now. Just see what Woodside does now. They might go for it here.
Now you have a decision, a gut check decision. It's 12 inches between you.
Oh, they're going for it. So let's see what goes on here. Mano a mano, 4th and 1. This is what the Peninsula District Championship unofficially looks like, Kyler, for the first place in the district here.
Absolutely. You can hear the crowd, the Phoebus Phantom fans standing up and rumbling right now.
Let's see if this is just a move to try to get Phoebus to jump off sides, or they're going to really go for it.
Jemison under center.
Man in motion. Yeah.
Looks like they got the 2-man go play.
And they're going to call a timeout here.
Absolutely. On that.
Timeout.
Woodside,
come out there. First timeout of the half.
You have a play, and you wait until see if they jump off sides. You see how he looks at the coach. He could have said, all right, we'll run the play we were designed to run. Or he could have said, all right, we're just going to run the timeout and get that field goal team out there. Now, that is strictly a coaching decision there. You know, the Phoebus Phantoms were disciplined, unlike the rest of the drive, but when it mattered most, they were disciplined here.
And that's probably why Woodside tried it. They knew that they were undisciplined in the last couple times. So, but not this time, as they're going to try for the field goal, and it's going to be number 42. It's Julian Richardson, the junior. He's going to try to put Woodside on the board. You know, you want to get some points out of this, considering the explosive offense that Phoebus has shown so far this year. Any points at this point would be valuable for them. You just don't want to jump off sides if you're Phoebus, and they don't. And that kick is going to be good by Richardson. So Woodside gets on the board, 7-3 Phoebus now. 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Absolutely. If you're the Phoebus Phantoms there, your defense bent, but it didn't break. And you're happy with coming away with 3 points, given the fact that you gave them 35 yards on that drive, starting from the kick out of bounds.
The kick, you're right. Kick out of bounds and 2 unsportsmanlike and an offside. So,
and you also forgot about the targeting over there on the sideline.
You're right.
You got the Phoebus Phantom cheerleaders having their senior night as well, showing a lot of spirit on the sideline.
Good to see. People understand that they go through summer workouts like everybody else, and they're out here on Friday and Thursday nights supporting the team. So 7-3 Phoebus, 3:18 left in the quarter. As again, two of the best teams in the district over the last few years battle it out tonight.
That's the receiver for the Phantoms is Anthony Herman, number 7, and number 12, Jalen White.
Even though Woodside is 3-18 over the last 21 years, a little swift kick as Corey Wilson picks it up for Phoebus. And there's another penalty. So far we've seen a lot of penalties in this first quarter.
Like you were just saying, the Woodside Wolverines are 3-18 over the last 21 matchups against the Phoebus Phantoms. So,
You know, they have been close, but, you know, lately, the last few years, these teams have been the only teams that have been at the top of the district, with the exception of Hampton a few years ago when they had Daz Newsom, who's doing a pretty fine job at Carolina right now. But
so he will be playing on Sundays.
oh, absolutely. Him and Jeremiah Wusu from Bethel, who has having a great year at Notre Dame, came out the same year. That was a great special year for the Peninsula District.
During the return, illegal block below the waist against the return team. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Phoebus remains possession.
Another
first
penalty
down.
hurts the Phantoms. This time on the kickoff, illegal block. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Phantoms at the 23-yard line. So 3 receivers and 2 in a running back. Turner with a fullback for Daniels. Like Jalen White goes in motion. Turner gets the handoff. And you see the agility on Turner, gets hit and stays on his feet.
And you're surprised with the agility of Turner. I'm honestly surprised with the agility of Amari Bailey on that. The left guard came on the pull, and he moved with the same speed in the backfield as the running backs on that one. And he cleaned out 2 linebackers of the Woodside Wolverines that created the hole.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Him and Kimani Robinson, the fullback.
Absolutely. It's rare to see a guard with that kind of quickness and lateral agility.
So with that, it's an 8-yard pickup by Turner. 2nd and 2. Daniels goes back to Turner. Turner is close to a first down. Looks like he has it. Kimani Robinson is going to get called for unnecessary roughness. He's just going through the block, but they're going to call it on someone. Look like Kimani Robinson. Hopefully we can get a good look at that one again. We'll see what they call here. Is the referees tonight are not letting them play much. We've seen a lot of flags so far in the first quarter.
Definitely a lot of laundry.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the offense. That play happened after the first down was gained. We have 15 yards from the end of the run.
That was a tough call. Kimani Robinson just going through the block. And it's not our fault that he's a big man here. He's what, 5'9", 230, just going through his block, and they're going to call unnecessary roughness on that.
Absolutely, and you can hear the Phoebus Phantom crowd and fans. They're not happy with that decision.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Seen a lot of penalties so far from Phoebus. Not all their fault here. They're just trying to make plays, and it's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 19. Jalen White goes back in motion. Goes behind Daniels this time. This time White gets the handoff. And they're going to be tackled behind the backfield by, looks like Andrew Chamblee, the 6'1" senior.
Absolutely. Him along with Seth, one of the Nautaloa brothers. Number 9 at linebacker.
And that's, I'm just looking at Woodside here in person. You see why they shut a lot of people out. They have a very active defense. Linebackers are flying around. Safeties are up on the line. Do a lot of blitzes and different schemes on their defense to confuse the offense. So that's no gain. 2nd and 10 now for Phoebus. Daniels again in the shotgun. Gets it. Goes to Turner. Turner saw a hole open up quick, but it closed really quickly.
He is met right there in the hole by Seth. Once again, Nautaloa, the brothers.
They're all over the field. As Turner had a really small gap, just couldn't get through. As you see the hole right here open, and then it closes so quick as you see the Woodside defense coming in there and closing it up. So now it's going to be 3rd and 6 for Phoebus. See Latrell Smith back. We talked about him earlier. He's at William & Mary taking a look at his former team. Good to see the former players coming back to support their squad as Daniels goes back to pass, and he's going to get pressure, and he's going to throw it away.
Gets it away. That's what you want out of a quarterback, to have the IQ to be able to make a man miss and just get the ball out of there. That's the 3rd time he's faced pressure in that backfield. You got to wonder if Woodside's quickness is just a little bit too much to handle for the offensive line of the Phoebus Phantoms, as we're looking at a 4th and 6 from about the 21-yard line.
Yeah, we knew both defenses were going to be tough. And, you know, Woodside, you know, you take away that pick 6, and they've done a great job. But
they still hold their shutout streak right now.
They do.
Technically, they do.
So the punter is Devontae White. And deep back for Woodside. It's going to be a penalty. Deep back for Woodside is, looks like it's Jemison. And it looks like Woodside might be flagged for too many men on the field.
There's no foul for illegal substitution.
Looks like maybe the officials miscounted there. Almost a block punt. That time for Woodside.
And I tell you, Koa Natola on that one, the other brother, number 44, was in that backfield quicker than the ball almost.
Yeah, almost got it. So, I mean, Woodside will get great field position now after the punt as you take a look at it. Oh, man, how did he miss that?
It looks like he didn't want to get his body hit by the ball on that one and didn't want to hit the punter. Had great body control in the air to move out of the way of the punter as well.
Great body control. Woodside gets the ball at the Phoebus 40, 1st and 10. Oh, this time Phipps gets it, and Phoebus defense is all over it. Stevenson comes out of the pile excited that he was there to get that tackle. So looks like it's going to be a loss on the play of 2. It's going to be 2nd and 12 now. If you take a look at it, Kyler, here is that as soon as the ball was hiked, you saw the Phoebus defense in the backfield.
Absolutely. And it's almost as if they're timid up front, the Woodside Wolverines, because the Phoebus Phantoms are getting back there so fast.
After the first quarter, it's 7-3 Phoebus.
It's everything we thought it was going to be. It's
Absolutely.
definitely a tight matchup, and it's a dogfight right now.
Absolutely. It's both teams, again, coming in highly ranked, currently at 3rd in their respective classifications. Phoebus looking bigger for bigger things again this year. Of course, they went to the state title game last year, lost maybe one play away from winning it. Woodside is now in a Class 5 where they have to play teams like Maury, Salem, and it's going to be a tough ride. But this game, like both coaches said, this game prepares you for those games in the playoffs later on in the season.
Absolutely. You bring up the conference change for Woodside, and you got to give them credit. You know, going this undefeated streak, switching into a new conference, losing 2 assistant coaches.
Yes.
Many programs would fold under that kind of pressure.
And Woodside keeps it rolling. You know, when you have success, a lot of your coaches are going to get other jobs. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to keep building the culture. And again, like Coach Dotson said, great assistants have helped build this program. As Jemison 2nd and 12 now in the shotgun, goes back to pass. It's going to be complete, a key to Key again. That's his favorite guy. It's almost like we did the game earlier this year, Kyler, Bethel. You know, their quarterback, you know, they had Isaiah Smith was the main guy for Bethel, and it's almost like this is how it is for Woodside. Jemison loves that key combination.
Well, you got those quarterbacks that are athletic and that can play anything on the field, and sometimes they just have to play quarterback.
Yeah.
And then you get a guy in there that can throw the ball, and now you've all of a sudden got a tandem.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, Jemison And we'll talk about that a little later. Jemison goes back to pass. Rollout. Has pressure, and he's going to go down. You know, we talked about, to coach, Jemison and Tyler Thompson both came into the office.
Absolutely. Coach said he sat him down in the office after the first scrimmage, and he said, what do you guys want to do? I don't want to put you guys in a position to where you're not comfortable, you're not doing something you want to do. As you see him scramble out here, not finding anything.
Taking the smart route there, doesn't want to give up a turnover, just kind of falls down and just takes himself out of it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're right. You know, both of them decided, okay, Jemison, because Jemison didn't want to come in and play quarterback when he first got to Woodside, and Tyler Thompson was a quarterback for a couple years, and now Thompson is at the running back.
Yeah. You got Thompson at the running back. You got Key at wide receiver. They've got some decent weapons here, the Woodside Wolverines.
Another flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be on the Phoebus
delay
family.
game, offense, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
Correction, it's actually on the Woodside Wolverines.
Yeah, delay of game now. The flag fest so far, both of these teams anxious to get something done on both sides.
Absolutely, as you got Key back there lined up to punt the ball. It's game and field position.
Oh, that time it looked like it was partially blocked. It was blocked, you're right. And the Phoebus needs to just get away from it. It's number 70, the freshman. That's Mikael McMullen, 6'2", 240 freshman, almost landed on it. He needs to get away from that one, but Phoebus will hold on to it with great field position. It's partially blocked on the punt.
As you can see, the coaches over there talking to McMullen now.
Yeah,
Saying,
get away.
Hey, you got to get away from that, man. You get a block punt, just keep your head on the swivel and stay away.
So Phoebus in good field position as they get the ball back here at the 44-yard line.
Also, you see a lot of these Phoebus Phantoms players in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month this October. As always, you got the athletes out there wearing their purple, the referees, pink, excuse me, wearing their pink, and the referees wearing their pink. It's always good to see the athletes support
Absolutely.
A great cause.
Absolutely. So that time Turner, again, gets the ball up the middle, nowhere to run as the Woodside defense buckles down on him. So no gain on the run by Turner. 2nd and 10 for Phoebus. As you see Woodside calling out different defensive calls and making some switches. Pack the pass. Daniels is going to complete his pass, and that's going to be Devontae White. One of those players that Coach Blunt talked about. He's a senior, but he's been behind Barry Hargraves, Latrell Smith, Mr. Jackson, who's at now at Virginia State, and now he's getting his opportunity as a senior to make some plays.
Absolutely, and that's what happens when you have patience and you wait for your time.
You love to see that from a kid. He could have left, transferred to another team to give him more touches, but he knew that his time would come here, and he stuck around.
And that falls back again once on what you said earlier. It's all in the culture of the Phoebus Phantoms. You wait your time, you work hard, and you'll be rewarded.
Now it looks like Phoebus is it a timeout? So no timeout, just a little break in the action here as we get back to first and 10 from the Woodside 40. And we're just trying to figure out what's going on.
I believe it's a clock issue.
So we got some issues with the chain gang here. As they got it resolved, as they get back to live action here. 7-3 Phoebus, 1st and 10 from the 40. Daniels back to pass, slant. It's going to be incomplete, almost intercepted. As that time, White looks like he ran before he caught it. He was open, had some room.
Absolutely. Plenty of room on that verticals right there. He just ran right up the seam, and it's him and the linebacker one-on-one. He got open and couldn't complete the catch.
So incomplete, 2nd and 10.
As you can see the Phoebus Phantom kicker warming up on the sideline.
That's Moises Luna, the junior. Kicking it right into your living room. It's a good shot by Steve Fryer down there on the field. As Daniels in the shotgun. Goes back to Turner on a little delayed handoff. Again, Turner not having much success up the middle.
Absolutely. He's getting stuffed by that Woodside defensive line. Xavier Rios, Jesus Scott. These are all sophomore and juniors. You know, relatively young defense the Woodside Wolverines have here. And we got some big guys here. Rios, a senior, 5'11", 390. He's a heavy guy to block.
Tough to push around as they rotate him in and out. It's going to be another tough 3rd down for Phoebus. 3rd and 10 now from the 40. Little adjustments made. Low snap again by Daniels. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to try to run, and he gets leveled.
That was a huge hit by number 44 from the Woodside Wolverines. Notala again. You got to give credit to these Notala brothers.
They're all over the field.
They are all over the field.
As you see now, looks like Daniels had more time than he thought, and he just got flushed.
It's great pocket presence. He slid up in the pocket expecting a little bit something more than when he got in. Got a huge hit delivered to his chin.
Wow, what a hit. That's going to bring up a 4th down again.
He's going to be feeling that one later.
Holding, offense.
And that's going to be a hold.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, 3rd down.
Actually, it's going to be a hold, so it's going to be a 3rd down now for Phoebus. As that was definitely a wake-up call right there. Daniels took a huge hit.
Yeah, he'll think again about running out of that pocket.
Really impressed by the Natola brothers. Seth and Koa.
Absolutely. Natola brothers are their fathers on the coaching staff. And you've got these 2 young men with their brother in attendance, flying around the field, making plays left and right. You love to see it. This is the underrated talent that people oversee in the Peninsula District. Guys like that. That is the talent that people don't get to see.
Absolutely. It's just going to be a tough 3rd down. Now it's 3rd and 26 now for Phoebus. As Daniels is going to go back to pass. Has Gray, and Gray, almost like a double team. It's overthrown. It's going to be 4th down.
Absolutely. And he had Gray there open. He had his man beat by about 3 yards, but the safety help over top guess scared Daniels into overshooting that one.
And Gray's one of those guys, the new members on that offense. He played a little bit last year as a freshman, but he's a sophomore now. 6'2", 174. As he steps in to replace some of the studs they lost last year. So now Phoebus back to punt once again. Again, the Woodside defense coming to play tonight. It's going to be down at around the 23. That's where Woodside will start.
On the punt, it comes down inside the 20. And the Wolverines will take over 7:09 remains in the 1st half.
You got to think here. You got 7 minutes left in the half. If you're the Woodside Wolverines, you want a methodical drive that's going to milk out the rest of this half. Keep your defense on the sideline. Keep them nice and energized and fresh. Try to see if your offense can really put another drive together like they did. Get down in that red zone and come away with more than 3 points.
Let's see what they do here. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Woodside. It's like Thompson. That's got to be a false start, but no call as Woodside calls timeout.
Looks like a little bit of a miscommunication between the play caller and the quarterback in the offense there.
The 2nd timeout of the half.
So it's going to be Woodside's 2nd timeout. You're right. Looks like it was a miscommunication, but before they got the flag, they called the timeout. So Phoebus not doing much on offense. You know, the only score they have is a pick 6 by Jackson. Woodside gets the ball down in the red zone, and they settle for 3. So it's definitely a defensive battle, but something we thought would happen tonight. As both teams just trying to feel their way through the offense. Turner so far not getting much on the ground as he's been dominating so far this year. But the Woodside defense just came to play tonight for sure, especially up front.
Absolutely. It just goes to show that their 6-0 undefeated start and the string of shutouts that they have is not a fluke, and the Woodside Wolverines are here to play.
Definitely here to play. Did you see them come out of the timeout? Woodside, again, very impressed by their size. So 1st and 10 for Woodside. Thompson gets the jet sweep, and he's hit behind the backfield, and they're going to tackle him down. Again, you can't do that against Phoebus with that speed on the outside. There's a flag also on the play. That's going to be a hold against Woodside. As you see the replay here, Thompson gets it, and Phoebus all over it.
There's the hold right there. You have number 11 on the Woodside offense. Tyrese White, a senior, 6 foot, 215 pounds.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul. Replay 1.
And that's one of those things you have when you run the wing tee. You have wide receivers coming in motion to block defensive end, and sometimes it gets a little messy down there, and the wide receiver doesn't necessarily know how to keep his hands inside of the shoulder pads and that technique that an offensive lineman necessarily needs. So you wouldn't get that call.
And call it every time. This time it goes up the middle, and Phoebus again all over it. So it's going to be a 2nd and long now for Woodside.
We have this great shot here. You can see both teams from an insect's view, I'd like to call it.
Looks like our girl Amy Rose down there with a nice shot. So director Mr. Foley puts Amy Rose to work, and she's doing a great job. Had the camera on her shoulder the whole half here. As Jemison goes back to pass, he gets out of it, and he's showing his speed as he breaks away. And he's going to get a 1st down. He's close to one. And he gets tackled outside, out of bounds, as you saw the speed on Jemison out there, getting away from the pressure.
Absolutely. And you can see Jemison showing a little bit of a fatigue on that as he makes a man miss here, number 50. Isaiah Harrell, Ivory Harrell.
Yeah, you're right. He just slow up a little bit.
He slows up a little bit. He sees those defenders contemplating whether or not he wants to go to the sideline or not. See, he's still hobbling from that play in the 1st quarter. Got to wonder if that's having some type of impact.
Well, it's now 3rd and 3.
And you can just look at the Woodside offensive line. They got their hands on their hips before the play. They look defeated.
Again, that wing tee misdirection didn't fool anyone. But now it's going to be a 4th down, and they're going to have to punt.
On the double reverse, number 44 lines up the ball. Northpower. And on the hit, number 25, Terrell McKinney.
Noah Tyler there doing it again.
Both sides of the ball.
Guess you can add a carry to that stat sheet. You see him here on the right tackle position on the punt team as well.
All 3 phases. He doesn't really leave the field. High snap. Jalen White deep for Phoebus.
It's a great punt.
And he's going to, it's going to hit off his helmet. And he looks like he recovered it, but a dangerous play. It looks
Absolutely.
like Woodside players are saying they got it, but, Jalen White might be hurt. Dangerous play by Jalen White. As again, you're a playmaker. You see that ball in the air. You want to make a play for your team.
Absolutely.
Just an instinct thing.
Injury
I
timeout.
think he was just trying to field the fair catch on that play.
Maybe
Called the fair catch, tried to field it in.
it looks like Phoebus got it. Phoebus got it here. You see the replay. He paused a little bit, and boom, he right there. It looks like he got kneed right in the side.
Absolutely. He misjudged that ball coming down, and it seemed to land right in front of his feet and bounce up his face mask, in which he had to immediately jump on the ball.
Just hope Jalen White is okay, the senior. He's a Navy commit.
Absolutely, he's had a great season.
Yeah, like you said, he mistimed it, and it took a funny bounce. And then you know once the ball hits you, you have to try to get the ball back because it's a live ball at that point. And that's what Jalen White did. He tried to get the ball and maybe either kicked or kneed, and he's still on the ground as they're helping him up now.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling it in his back, it seems like. Must have gotten a stinger.
They're trying to stretch it out. That's a good sign he's moving. And Jalen White is up.
Get a round of applause from this Phoebus Phantom sideline.
Again, it looks like he, it could have been the wind knocked out of him. We're not sure, but it looks like he's okay.
Well, if you're the Woodside Wolverines, you've done one thing right there, and that was run off about half of the clock. Took about 3 minutes off of the clock there with that drive. Went more backwards than forwards.
And almost had a turnover there on the kickoff.
Absolutely, and
on the punt.
They're punting the ball with faith because they have a lot of trust in their defense.
Absolutely. So 1st and 10 from the 49 for Phoebus. Low snap. Been a low snap all night as Turner made something out of nothing that time.
It's tripped up.
Well, after curricular there, after the play, but no call. As they got Phoebus with a few of those. Didn't call it that time as a little pushing after the whistle. So they gave Turner 3 on that run.
Absolutely, and as expected, it's getting a little chippy out here. Both of these teams have a lot on the line. Playoff implications, pride, the sense of what we used to be a Peninsula District Championship. You can see it again. It's getting feisty on the backside of the play.
As flags fly. We'll see what they call. Looks like it's going to be unnecessary roughness on Woodside. See the replay here. It might have been over on the far side, Kyler, as they threw the flag.
Absolutely. It looks like a cornerback or a safety that was just involved with a little bit of scuffle in the play before.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down. Clock operator, please reset the clock to 3-5-3. 3-5-3.
It's unnecessary roughness is now both teams have gotten their share of unnecessary roughness calls. All right, so it's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 29-yard line. As Phoebus could be huge for them to go in the halftime break with another score. Put more pressure on that offense of Woodside. This time Daniels under center goes to Turner, and Turner has nowhere to go.
He's met in the hole by Seth Noatala that time. The Noatala brothers can't speak on it enough. That time you've got the older brother, Seth, as you got the younger brother, Koa, sophomore, 5'10", 190, and you've got the older brother, number 9, Seth, senior, 6 foot, 225, bigger guy.
And of course, they both came over from Minchville.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
A little offsides on Phoebus if they were in the neutral zone. So now the penalties are rolling over on the Woodside side of things here.
Absolutely. And if you're Coach Blunt, you are not okay with the amount of penalties that your team has had this half.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 24. Turner up the middle. Daniels under center now. Again, Turner nowhere to go. Should be
He
a
is
perfect.
met again by who other than Seth No Tyler.
Yep, just give them all the tackles. They're all over the field. This would be a good time probably for a play action fake. If you're Phoebus, stacking the line as Woodside is.
Absolutely. You're on the right side of the field. I'd say go a corner fade, back pylon. But you got to have faith in your quarterback, and you got to realize that there's 2 minutes left in this game. They don't want Woodside to have that ball. As you can see, the Phoebus offense taking their time coming out of the huddle this time. Got Daniels in the shotgun.
3rd and 4.
Play action. Called it. Quick out.
That's going to be enough for a 1st down as you were right, Kyle. A little pass. Nothing comes easy, though, tonight for either team. That time it was a tough, well-covered pass. It's great that sophomore receiver gets the pass, gets the reception from Daniels.
Absolutely, and he's just a go-up-and-get-it guy. A 50-50 ball there. He clearly came down with that one aggressively and took a hit and still walked out of bounds.
So it's going to be 1st and 10. Clock still running. Ball's at the 15-yard line. Daniels under center this time. He's going to give it to Turner. Turner gets a few yards as, again, Nayatola, again, on top of Turner to get the tackle.
He's pursued, brought down by number 9, Seth Nepal.
And you've got now the Woodside Wolverines big man on the play, Xavier Rios, limping off the field in that play.
Yeah, Rios, he landed wrong on that ankle. So it's going to be 2nd and 7 now for Phoebus. Back to passes. Daniels. Daniels throws it, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Gray. Well covered.
And Daniels and Gray must have an extremely tight relationship for him to trust him with that ball. As
Double
he was,
team, yeah.
I would say quadruple team. You had a linebacker underneath, cornerback, and a safety over top.
It's a lot of trust, but that was a bad decision that time by Daniels. It's the good thing about it is it was
Tipped up and out of
tipped
bounds.
and out of bounds, right.
Absolutely. Now you have Gray taking off his gloves, throwing him out of the huddle, as well as the fullback coming out of the play. So you got to wonder what Phoebus is up to now. Maybe those gloves are wet. Balls keep slipping out of his hand. He felt like he could have grabbed that one.
So 3rd and 7 now. 1:06 left in the half. Daniels in the shotgun, back to pass. It's going to
got
be
a wide open White.
And White looks like he got enough for the 1st down.
Might be a yard short, actually, if he'd have stayed where he caught the ball.
Chris Daniels hits number 28.
As you see right here, Kyler is going to, yeah, you're right. He didn't run enough to get the 1st down. He stopped
Timeout.
before the stick.
Absolutely. And if you see
your
that
3rd and
last
final
play,
timeout
that
of
right
the half.
tackle might have got away with illegal hands to the face there on that end.
Now, if you're the receiver, you have to know where you are on the field. If you would have maybe took one more step, he might have had that 1st down.
Absolutely. I think he's a little bit afraid of that contact on that one. Caught the ball, tried to make a play, came under the sticks. And that's what they call a stick route. You run to the sticks and hit your cut, and you turn around and get out of there.
So it's going to be short. It's going to be 4th and 1 now. Decision time for Phoebus. What do you do here?
I believe that Coach Blunt's probably going to line up those 250-pound guys down there, and he's going to make a way. But if you're the Woodside Wolverines, your defense has been standing up with the Natola brothers. So you got to maybe send in a blitz of some sort.
So it's going to be 4th and 1. 46 seconds left. Woodside does get the ball at the start of the 2nd half. It's going to be 4th and 1 now for Phoebus. Tight formation. Daniels on the center. Woodside showing
Try
blitz.
to get him to jump a little bit. Oh, the Woodside Wolverines seem to have stuffed Phoebus in the backfield. Looks like they might be short of that 1st down.
Depending on the spot. We'll see where they spot. He did look short. And the Woodside did stop him.
And that was Anthony A.J. Turner with the ball getting stuffed in the backfield by none other than Seth Notala.
And that's a huge stop for the Woodside Wolverines defense.
But now if you're Woodside, you want to go into the locker room or do you want to try to get another score?
You probably clock this here. You know you get the ball back. We'll see. Maybe they'll try one play to see how it works.
But you're on the 5-yard line. A safety right here would be costly. And a 7-3 slug out.
They're going to run something.
They got single coverage out wide.
Yeah, Jimerson just up the middle just to probably clock it.
Yeah, probably trying to buy some space and the safest thing to do.
Jefferson on the carry. He can follow up.
Well, the highly anticipated game has lived up to it. Defensive battle so far.
It kind of gives me a feel as one of those AFC North games, like a Steelers-Baltimore game.
That's right.
Definitely a slug out here. You got your defenses showing up left and right, and the only actual touchdown was scored by a defense.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
You got to think someone's going to come out and explode in the second half. Coach Blunt does not seem happy with his team's performance as the Phoebus Phantoms jog into the locker room and the Woodside Wolverines jogging with their heads high, holding a goal line stop here right before the half.
Yeah, that's good. That was a huge stop, and we'll see how much momentum that takes to either locker room. As we're going to take a break here. 7-3 Phoebus at the half. Darling Stadium, Thursday Night Football on LSC. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Darling Stadium for this Peninsula District football match between the Phoebus Phantoms and the Woodside Wolverines. 7-3 is your score here at the half. You know, something we probably predicted all week is it's going to be a tough game, defensive battle, and that's what we have so far tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's a bit of a surprise coming off of the Woodside Wolverines side. Their defense has honestly had a shutout performance other than the Phoebus defense scoring. But against the Phoebus offense, the Woodside Wolverines have had a shutout night, and it's honestly a surprise against the battle of the trenches that we expected to go a certain way, and it's been going towards their direction tonight.
Yeah, you know, the only touchdown in the game is the pick six by Mr. Jackson on Phoebus. Jimerson overthrowing his receiver and Jackson taking it to the house. You're right. You know, both defenses have come to play. I mean, something we predicted, you know, but, you know, I thought we'd see more offense. Turner, the running back from Phoebus, is being shut down in between the tackles. I mean, you know, that Woodside defense, along with those linebackers, are really making a statement tonight.
Absolutely. And you talk about the Woodside defense, but I'm honestly surprised with the Woodside offense. They've come out and they passed the ball 3 times last game. They've already passed the ball more than that on the first drive. So they come out, they're surprising the Phoebus Phantoms. They're keeping the Phoebus Phantoms on their feet, on their toes, constantly guessing. But you can't continue to do those things. You got to sometimes fall into tradition, fall into what you know, and continue to do what you do best.
It's almost like Woodside is being uncharacteristic with the passing, not known to be a passing team. Obviously, they have a better quarterback this year in terms of passing in Jimerson, but you know, we haven't seen much of the wing tee. We've seen variations of it, but
absolutely,
for the most part, Woodside's been more of a spread team tonight.
Absolutely, they've been a spread team. They've had Ricky Key, their main wide receiver, who had 26 catches on the season so far, about 400 yards, and you can say he's probably at about 36 now. He's had about 8 catches tonight. You know, he's had a great game. We got Jimerson back there. In a sense, he's been scrambling a couple times, ran for his life 2 or 3 times, but I'm very surprised with the Woodside defensive pressure that they provided against the Phoebus quarterback. Daniels has been back in the backfield flustered. It looks like he can't even get to a second read. He gets back there, and he got the defensive ends flying all around him. And the Phoebus offensive line has to get it together in this second half if they do want to continue to win this game and not be uprooted by the Woodside Wolverines.
Again, last year's game was close. The past few years have been close. Woodside has only beaten Phoebus 3 times out of 21 tries, but they've all been close And the last few years have been tough matchups. And again, a key stat is Josiah Silver, their Phoebus star two-way player, has been out for most of the game. I'm going to check and see what his status is, but he'd be a huge loss. He's one of the best defensive players on that edge.
Absolutely,
So.
as well as one of those best offensive players. You know, they got that big offensive line that we were talking about, and they have big things going on with them, but sometimes with the offensive line, it's more of a unified thing. It's more of a unit. You can't just have one man replace the next man, and in some cases it does work that well, but when you're on offensive line, you move as brothers, and you move as one unit, one unified group.
Absolutely, and again, this is what both teams wanted, Kyler. They wanted a playoff atmosphere, which we have, nice crowd. You know, playoff atmosphere in terms of the play. Two good teams, two playoff-bound teams going at it. And this might be the test they need before they get to November in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Like we said earlier, this game has huge playoff implications on the line. Though you have two teams in two different conferences, you gotta realize that just about everyone plays everyone nowadays, and you got to see sometimes, and you got to play good competition. Woodside Wolverines, they're not shying away from this competition. It seemed like everyone thought Phoebus was going to come in here and walk all over Woodside, and they've surprised a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. They've surprised me. I mean, I've only seen them once in person this year, and they've gotten better as the season went along. You know, the first game they played was against Gloucester, a 14-0 win. And since then, they've been rolling just like Phoebus has. And, you know, it's good to see these two teams play later on in the season when both of them are playing well.
Absolutely. And you got to give credit. If you're going to give credit to that Woodside defense, you know who I'm going to say. Seth.
That's your guy.
Natola,
both of them,
and
yeah.
Koa, Natola.
Yeah.
Those are my guys.
Yeah.
Those are my guys. Linebacker, running back, punter, punt return.
They do it all.
They do it all.
Yeah.
So those are my guys. If the Woodside Wolverines want to come out with a win, they're going to have to come out and have that same intensity and fly around the ball just like they did in the first half.
Oh, yeah, they've been all over the field. Again, coming over from Minchville, been a huge addition, two huge additions to the Wolverines on offense and defense and special teams for that matter. So they're going to definitely make a statement in the second half. They're going to be all over the field. And for Phoebus, you know, they're trying to get Anthony A.J. Turner involved. Again, he's been their main running back this year along with Jalen White.
Absolutely. You got to think. Did they have a conversation with AJ in that locker room? You think they probably tried to rile him up, maybe put the pressure on him, make it seem like he has to do more?
I'm sure they did.
With a talent like that, I'm sure you could just put a battery in his back and he'll go.
I mean, you know, again, A.J. Turner has offers from UVA and ODU, so if he wants to go out there and show that he can still get it done against this great Woodside defense.
Absolutely, and when you have those UVA and ODU caliber kind of looks, as a player, you want to show that you can be more than that.
Right.
You know, you get your looks, you get your Division I looks. Like, okay, cool. Now what's next? What can I do now? Now you think about ACC. Now you think about Power 5.
Right.
You want to go bigger and better. So AJ has a lot to prove, and if he wants to continue to show people he can do what he can do, then he's gonna have to have a great second half. As you see, the Wolverines got a little man out there. Excuse me, actually a little girl out there. They have the Woodside Wolverines warming up with them. Oh, yeah. They're preparing the future from a young age.
Absolutely. Yep, going all the way.
Might have one of the first Woodside quarterbacks at a young age out there, practicing early, learning to wing
suit them up.
Short age.
Go suit them up.
Absolutely.
And again, if you're Woodside and you see a player that has offers like that, your main job is to try to stop him, and that puts a little chip on your shoulder with the talent that Phoebus has. And again, Woodside has talent. So again, this is a great game for the district and for the peninsula, as this is the game that everybody has been circled on their calendars for a long time, as you see the Woodside Wolverines getting revved up for the second half.
And you got to wonder if the Woodside Wolverines will come out with that same intensity, because they came out in that first half. First opening kickoff, they had a huge hit on the sideline. You can see the atmosphere of the sideline, the players on the sideline, the crowd even just was so electric. So you got to wonder if they're going to come out with that same oomph and that same bravado.
Again, Woodside will get the ball to start the second half.
Absolutely, and if I'm the Woodside Wolverines in the second half, I'm going to stick to what I've been doing in the first half, spreading this Phoebus defense out, because everyone knows the Phoebus defense is strong and bulky, and they get fast off the edge, but no one really knows what they can do in coverage. And yeah, they have a pick six this game, but the Woodside Wolverines have been able to move the ball up and down this field.
And again, losing what 3 starters from that back end, you know, you want to test them out and see what they can do out there. So Luna's going to kick it off for Phoebus. This time he kicks it deep. Good kick by Luna. It's going to be picked up by Jemison, and Jemison
like
has some room.
Lane.
He had a nice lane.
Jemison had an alley there for just a second as he takes it about a 25-yard return from the 5-yard line, just about to the 30.
You know, you don't have your quarterback returning kicks and punts that much anymore, but Jemison, again, is an all-around player. As you get a good look at him on the ground level here.
That honestly shows me that Jemison wants to do more in this game, that he wants the ball more, and he wants to make an impact, and maybe the Woodside Wolverines will come out and show some fight on offense and put one in the end zone. Back to that traditional wing tee look that they have going.
And they're going to go to Phipps. Been kind of quiet in this game. He gets the first carry. Gets about, what, a 7-yard gain on that first carry.
Absolutely. And if you're counting contact yards, it was about 5.
Oh, yeah.
Carry some of those Phoebus Phantom defenders a few yards after that play.
They could get Bryce Phipps a little momentum, that big first run. And again, like you said, going back to that wing T formation. So 7 yards on the run from Phipps. It's going to be 2nd and 3 now from the 40. So Jemison goes back to pass. He's going to go. He has Key open, and Key makes the catch.
Absolutely, and that was on the cornerback, number 21, Jaden Jackson, who actually had the pick 6 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
On that very first play, and that goes back to what I was telling you. The Woodside Wolverines are going to test this Phoebus secondary.
Absolutely.
Phoebus is almost perfect in every category on defense. However, no one has been able to even get a quarterback in the pocket long enough to test their secondary. So this might be a chink in the armor for the Phoebus Phantom defense.
And that was a good over-the-shoulder pass and catch. Jemison to Key. And they've been connecting all night. And they go back to the run, and that's Phipps again. Big bruising junior running back. Stevenson on the tackle for Phoebus. So huge, you know, it could have been some debate. Maybe Phoebus should have probably taken the points at the end of the half. You know, at this kind of game, you want all the points you can get. They went for it. Huge stop by the Woodside defense. We don't know if that momentum could carry over, but as you see on this first possession, Woodside moving the ball so far when they're at the 25-yard line of Phoebus.
Absolutely. They've already moved the ball about 60 yards in 3 plays.
So Jemison in shotgun. This time it goes to Phipps. Phipps, big back, little spin. Gets another first down for Woodside.
And that's one of those plays where you could have driven a Mack truck through that hole.
Big hole.
That was a lane, and you saw him slip on the cutback because he was so excited. As you can see right here, he gets the ball, and he sees, I slipped,
Yeah.
but he sees the hole, and he just has to get in there 1, 2, 3, 4 yards after contact. Like you said, that's a big back in the backfield.
So 1st and 10 now. Goes back to Phipps. Phipps is getting a heavy load on this drive.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a flag, and that might be against Woodside.
Phipps is hurt on the ground now as well, holding his back. So we hope Mr. Phipps is okay, as he's just now starting to get his night started. 4 carries on this drive, and you got to wonder if that injury, if Mr. Phipps is okay and he can continue to play. Tyler Thompson, his number will be called here soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
His number will be called here soon. As you can see on that last play, he came around the edge, and so many people were worried about Phipps. Tyler just walked around the left sideline, looked at coach like, yeah, it's here.
It's here.
That play is there. It's available. So if Phipps can get back in the game and they put that focus back on Phipps, Woodside Wolverines are looking at a very open defense right now.
And then, you know, with the way Phipps is playing, that opens up key on the outside. That when your running game is rolling, it gives you an opportunity to go with that play action.
Absolutely. And with the suspect corners that Phoebus has right now, and you see the
Oh, man, now another 15-yard penalty.
that was actually a helmet-to-helmet contact play, and you hear the Woodside Wolverine fans all the way on this side of the stadium. As you can see, they're riled up for this red zone goal line. 1st and 5. Got Jemison under the center in the traditional wing tee.
So Jemison goes to another running back.
So that's 32.
Another flag on the play. Is that?
This one looks like it might be holding on the Wolverines.
And that's Noel Towns, Kyler, on that run.
Okay, so you got the coming in just for a couple plays there for the injured number 15. As you can see him trot back in the huddle.
Let's go see what's the flag? What's the call here?
During the run, personal foul, face mask, defense. Penalty is half a distance from the end of the run.
Another penalty. Phoebus just beat themselves up with penalties.
Absolutely, but you can see that Phoebus defense looks excited for this play, honestly. They're pumping up the crowd, and this is what the Phoebus defense lives for, bend or break moments.
So Jemison under center, goes for the quarterback.
He almost loses the ball there.
Almost, yeah.
On a carry to Jefferson. Tips the wedge it in.
And it looks like Austin is down for Phoebus. That's going to be a tough loss if he can't return. He's on the ground.
Absolutely. Joshua Austin, the 5'11 senior out of Phoebus High School in that secondary, that linebacking core.
A timeout for injury.
Linebacker with Travion Hayes out.
Absolutely.
Number 2.
He's on injured reserve, correct?
Yeah.
Take him all the way to
See number
25.
34 also limping off the field. Jermon Davenport, the other linebacker, junior.
You can't afford to lose those linebackers at all, especially with the way Phoebus runs that. I mean, I'm sorry, Woodside runs that wing tee. Linebackers are very important. So we want to make sure that Austin's okay. And he's up. And he's jogging off the field. It's going to be a 2nd and goal now from the 1. So Woodside moving the ball after a few penalties off from Phoebus.
And you got to wonder if Joshua Austin being out for this one play is going to make a big impact for this 12 inches that the Wolverines need to get.
Jemison's fakes.
Oh, and he goes to the outside, and he's met by Phoebus Phantoms, and he will not get the first down. As you can see, he does his best Aaron Rodgers impression to stretch the ball over the goal line, but he did it a little bit too late as the Phoebus Phantoms meet him at the 1-inch line, it seems like.
Man, what a play.
By number 11, Travion Stevenson. That was a great play as he wasn't fooled by the outside run.
So this is a huge 3rd down for the Phoebus defense. And this is, like you said, Kyle, this is what they want. They want to live and die by that defense. It looks like it's going to be a timeout.
Absolutely. The Woodside Wolverines have called a timeout.
Woodside. First timeout of the half.
So it's going to be 3rd and goal. What'd you call that shot?
Oh, yeah, this is the insect
The
view.
insect
I like
shot.
this. Yeah, this is such a great view.
Steve Fryer on the ground.
Absolutely. That's a bit of a pylon cam right
Pylon
there.
cam, I like that.
Absolutely.
Call that ground camera right there, Stephen Fryer. You can see the officials.
Yeah, they're having a long night hearing the heckling from these fans.
A lot of flags. They've been very visible and active in this game, as you see David Gear, Bernard Banks, Mark Fry, Tim Mallory, Just to name a few on the crew here, Lee McGuire and Daryl Champagne, the field judge. .850 left in the third quarter. 3rd and goal, 7-3 Phoebus. It's been a defensive battle, as the only touchdown was a defensive touchdown. It was a pick 6 from Phoebus. So we'll see what the Phoebus defense does here as the Woodside Wolverines jog out to the line of scrimmage.
That's one thing they've done this entire drive is run to that line of scrimmage. As you hear this Phoebus Phantoms crowd light up. And there's a fumble on the play with the snap. Jimerson did not get it as he falls in the place of the fumble.
Now, what do you do if your Woodside may have lost a yard on that one?
They may have lost a yard. Absolutely. As you can see, the scrappiness is continuing to build up among these teams. Just hope that they can channel it towards the right energy.
Let's see this. Yeah, you're right. Jimerson dropped it, and his knee was down.
Yeah, as you can see, he dropped it right there on the 2-yard line. It's a great replay.
And it's going to be 4th and goal.
My legs are vibrating right now as this Phoebus Phantoms fandom is going crazy. This is 4th and 1. Oh, yeah. Is that encroachment? Is that a false start?
See what they're going to sort out. It's going to be a false start against Woodside.
That's what it looks like. Doesn't matter what your excuse is as an offensive lineman. You move 9 times out of 10, it's your fault.
Just total self-destruction now.
Yeah, well, the defensive player has to cross the neutral zone completely in order for the offensive lineman to move freely. So the offensive lineman moved maybe before the Phoebus Phantom was all the way across the neutral zone. Not sure. That's probably what they're having a conversation about now.
And, you know, 1st and goal from the 1, Woodside had it. And that's what the call is.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So now,
see, things are working in Phoebus's favor.
It looks like Woodside's going to still keep their team on the field. They're going to go for it. Actually, no, they're going to take the 3. They're going to go for 3 here. Points on the board are so important. You want to get something out of this at the 1, and if you don't get anything, it could prove to be really difficult towards the end of this game, as they're going to go for 3 here. It's good.
Absolutely, the kick is good.
I mean, you have to give the Phoebus defense some credit on that one. They held them to 3, and it was 1st and goal from the 1.
Absolutely, and like I said, that is what the Phoebus defense is predicated on. Bending but not breaking.
Right.
And you shoot yourself in the foot, you make a bad play, but you turn around and by all means you do not give up a touchdown.
Now if you're Phoebus, remember we talked about A.J. Turner being shut down in the first half. Let's see if Phoebus still goes to that. Jalen White was banged up on a punt return. I'm not sure if I haven't seen him. And they see him on defense. Let's see. Oh, Jalen White's back. He's fine. Him and A.J. Turner are going to return this kick.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what kind of offense the Phoebus runs here in this next possession.
But do you want to know what came in my mind there as he kicked that field goal?
What's that?
The conversation we brought up right after the half. Do you think that Coach Blunt should have kicked that field goal on the goal line? And now it's going to start to come back in the conversation. Right. You got Woodside. Woodside goes up. Say Woodside gets a touchdown right now. And then Phoebus gets a field goal. Now you're down 3.
Right. That's true. So
you got to think these coaching decisions, sometimes you may feel like it'll be okay for now, but come back and bite you in the long run.
And, you know, points are so vital in this game. It's a tight game like this. Every point counts. A huge return would be great for Phoebus. As a little swift kick, that's going to go out of bounds, and Phoebus going to get great field position. Not sure what Richardson was thinking on that one. I think he was trying to maybe, like you said before, like kickers like to get the ball in the corner. And
absolutely, I didn't see a sky kick coming out of that one. I think maybe honestly, there's a new trend of kicks. He might have been trying to hit the front line, man. as hard as possible with the ball.
Illegal kick out of bounds. Kicking team, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Re-kick.
Oh, they're going to re-kick that, Kyler, that time. Okay, well, they're going to re-kick it now. Let's see if Richardson tries anything else.
That's interesting because we just had an illegal kick right before the half.
Right.
That bounced out of bounds. So I'm going to see if he gets a justified retry on this kick.
It pushes him back 5 yards, too, so if Phoebus can get a good return out of this. So Richardson, the only points for Woodside tonight, 2 field goals. Same kind of kick.
Oh, and it's touched a few times by Phoebus Phantom, who
Time
heads
it's
immediately
Gray.
to the
Gray has
left
some room.
sideline. He's got an alley. He's going up the sideline. And he's walked down at the 22-yard line by Koa Natola as he makes a touchdown saving tackle on the Phoebus Phantom sideline.
I don't see any flags, and that was Gray, the sophomore playmaker for Phoebus.
Absolutely. Kamari Gray, 6'2", 174.
Timeout
Bob
for
with
an
his
injury.
opportunity here, but then made the best out of the situation.
And you see how he fouls block. Little block by Corey Wilson. It's
Great
not
block.
Key down. And after that, it's all athleticism at this point.
Absolutely. He ran about 80 yards if you count
Yes.
how far he ran east and west.
Another good block.
Absolutely. You can see the Phoebus Phantoms are committed to blocking and things that it takes to run a kickback. It's not just, you know, put a special guy, fast guy back there and catch it and go. You got to block.
And, you know, following your blockers is also a skill that you have to pick up, knowing where to run. And,
Absolutely. That vision as a returner is key.
again, Gray, one of those young playmakers, only a sophomore. He's asked to take a huge role this year with the loss of.
And you see he caught a little bit of a cramp there at the end of the play, getting stretched out by coach. It was a huge play for this Phoebus Phantoms offense there.
Oh, it's huge, yes.
Get better field position.
You know, special teams, it comes, you know, late in the season, it comes into play, especially when your offense isn't doing much. This could.
Well, as my old coach used to say back at Bethel High School, special teams is still 33% of the game.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
22-yard line of the Wolverines. It'll be 1st and 10 of Phantom.
Bethel has a huge game against Ward coming up this weekend. Hopefully.
Absolutely, as well as Kickinton having their senior night tomorrow.
Daniels goes back to Turner. They're running that same play as they still trying to get Turner going, but
Once again, see there's a little bit too much chatter after the play there. You got to wonder if that scrappiness is starting to come into play with the verbal actions of these players. Looks like it's on the offense.
not letting much go today.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct against Phoebus for a taunting, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, 2nd down.
That's a huge penalty against the Phoebus Phantoms there.
So another penalty bites Phoebus as they've been decimated with penalties all game, pushing them back. And now they're at the 39-yard line.
Looks like about a 2nd and 27.
All the way back at the 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 26 for Phantom.
So Daniels in the shotgun. He's got trips far side. And they've got a linebacker on the receiver, and Daniels is going that way. And he's going to roll out. Not sure where he was going with that. And Daniels gets
Absolutely.
sacked.
And that's that Woodside Wolverines defense swarming in that backfield when he decides to pass the ball. You got to think if the Phoebus Phantoms' lack of running game is preventing them from being able to pass the ball.
And Daniels, I think he had White, a linebacker.
That's a clean mismatch, but it looks like he just couldn't get out of the face of that pressure as all of the Phoebus Phantom offensive linemen are playing tag with each other, it seems like.
So now it's 3rd and 31. Again, penalties are just biting Phoebus right now, as they cling to a 1-point lead here in the 3rd quarter. Daniels again in the shotgun. It's going to be a flag. Might be a delay of game.
This is
Prior
not
to
what
the
Phoebus
snap,
needs.
delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And you can now start to hear the heckling coming from the crowd against this referee staff. But hey, you can't be mad at the man trying to control the game.
So now it's 3rd and a mile here.
3rd mile and a half.
3rd and a mile and a half.
There you go.
For Phoebus. Daniels, another low snap.
He's
Goes
facing
back to
pressure
pass.
again. Looks like he's going to run with this one. Oh, yeah, that might be a horse collar. I'm not sure about that one. Pretty aggressive tackle by none other than Seth Noatola.
All over the field.
Seth and Koa Noatola have been having
And, you know,
outstanding games.
great games. And you have to credit the back end, too, for Woodside. That defense, they've got, you know, 3 seniors back there.
Absolutely. That secondary is showing up today. I will say that. As well as give credit to that defensive line, opening up those gaps for the Noatola brothers to fill in so aggressively.
You know, the running game is not working for Phoebus, which
And the last punt by Phoebus was blocked.
another low snap. And this one's almost blocked. Good punt, though. It's a good punt off. It's going to take a Phoebus bounce. And that's going to go inside the 5-yard line.
If you're Jimerson, you've got to field that ball.
Yes.
You have got to field that ball. Do not be scared of fumbling that punt. You have to field the ball, because just what happened, it took a Phoebus Phantom bounce and gave you 6 more yards. Now you're on the 4-yard line instead of the 11.
And this is when you see what plays you have up your sleeve to get out of this space.
Absolutely. And if you're Woodside, you just had a great drive down the field that ended in 3 points, sadly. But if you can get together a drive just like that, get to the 1-yard line again, definitely punch one in for a touchdown and put a dagger in the hearts of these Phoenix Phantoms.
Oh, that's Phipps again. And you see that Phoebus defense playing just like Woodside.
Humbled in the backfield by number 55.
And that's Silver. He's back in.
Yep.
Now, if you're Phoebus, you have to play smart here. No penalties, because if you can get this ball back, you're going to get great field position. Because they're going to be punting out of their end zone if you can stop them. As you see Silver back in the game. That's the presence he makes when he's in. And he hasn't been in since the 1st quarter. Number 55, senior. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
And one thing you can see in that nice insight camera is that defensive line of the Phoebus Phantoms shifting around and stacking on top of each other, that linebacking core, switching spots, and they're constantly communicating.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, half
So now it's half the distance to the
Second
goal.
down.
It's going to be at the 1, inside the 1, actually.
Absolutely. And now we might see another Phoebus Phantom defensive score come in for their and save their offense.
You're going to put pressure on Jimerson here. And again, play the field position. You play smart here, and you can hold them. You'll get great field position on the punt.
Absolutely.
And, of course, if you're Woodside, you just want to get out of here. You don't want to play around with that Phoebus defense this close to your goal line. And Jimerson's going back to pass, going to key, and it's going to be intercepted
again by number 21, Jaden Jackson, who just gave up a big play against Key the last drive on the Phoebus Phantom sideline, who also has a pick 6 in the 1st quarter. He's having a great senior night.
Oh, that was a great play. Great play.
What a senior night for Jackson to go home tonight with 2 interceptions and a pick 6.
Great play by Jackson. Read the play.
He goes up and earns that one. That wasn't necessarily a gift by Jimerson this time. 50-50 ball.
Nice play.
Absolutely over the shoulder grab, maintains possession to the ground.
What a play by Jackson. I mean, good awareness by Jackson to find the receiver, find the ball midair, and come down with it by the senior. And now you're in great field position again if you're Phoebus.
Absolutely, but you have Kamari Gray still dealing with that cramp on the sideline, it seems like, number 4 here. Getting him some pickle juice and mustard lined up. It's a beautiful play action. You got Daniels running with wide open space, 1 man to beat, and great open field tackle by none other than the quarterback on the other team.
Oh, Jimerson stayed home.
Jimerson.
But you see the fake.
That was a great fake. If you're Daniels, you got to have a little bit more of a option route on that play. You got to have someone else rolling with you, coming on a drag, a slant. Somebody's got to come with you.
Everybody goes to Turner. Look at that.
Yeah, it's wide open with no one to throw.
Let me see. Jimerson just stay home. Good open field tackle, like you said, by him.
Doing a lot of dancing. Daniels is doing a lot of dancing.
So 1st and 10. I'm sorry, 2nd and 2. Gain of 8. This time it goes to Turner. Turner gets the first down and more. Is that little? Another flag.
They've been pretty active today.
It's going to be against Woodside.
Jordan to run. Face mask penalty. 5 yards from the end of the run.
It's going to be a face
Call the
mask
play is a first down.
on Woodside. And again, penalties killing both sides right now.
Absolutely. Lack of discipline is going to be a key point for these teams going into the 4th quarter.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 11. This is a huge possession for Phoebus. Goes back to Turner. Turner finds a little hole, and they're trying to find something in Turner. As Turner, that all-world running back for Phoebus, trying to find the littlest holes to break. If you give him a little bit, he'll break it. But again, that Woodside defense is buckling down. This is where they stepped up last time.
You see Woodside doing their own impersonation of Phoebus, trying to have a goal line stand. As you see Will Sanchez, the junior, coming in to fill that gap.
Back to Turner. Turner gets a hole, and he is close to a touchdown. He's going to be short at the goal line.
They're going to mark him down on the 1-inch line. It's going to be 3rd and inches.
As you see, the offensive line gets a kick out of this. They get a chance to push people around. As you see Turner here, and look at the pull by Hardy.
Absolutely. Like I told you earlier, that pull by that left and right guard.
Yep, Gilliam was the one who pulled.
Absolutely. Quick and lateral feet. As you got that big fire hydrant in the middle there from Woodside, Rios. Got to see what kind of fire he's going to get off of the ball.
Going to go back to Turner. Turner's going to finish off the drive. He scores.
There's a pistol of a shot out of the backfield there from that end zone. Touchdown.
So touchdown. There was a touchdown by Turner. 13-6 Phoebus. 2:14 left. Huge touchdown for the Phantoms as they finish off the drive after the interception by Jackson. And Luna's going to try the extra point. High snap, kick up, and it's good. So Phoebus now up by 8, 14-6. But you can't count Woodside out yet.
No, you
Still
can't.
plenty of time left.
No, you can't. You cannot count on Woodside. The offensive flow they've had and the way they've been able to move the ball on offense all night has just been undeniable.
Yes.
But the Phoebus Phantoms have stopped them twice on the goal line now.
Two
So
huge, yeah.
If you get Woodside to get down on that goal line again, you don't know if they're going to execute and get that touchdown all the way. And if they do, you can't look too quick because you got to get that 2-point conversion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, 14-6, 2:14 left. And if you're Woodside, Jemison tried it. He had Key open, but Jackson just closed ground and made the interception. You still continue what you do best if you're Woodside.
Yes, yes, of course. And if you're Woodside, you got to get your quarterback a break. You got to get your quarterback a break. I understand he's the corner, the punt returner. He's an athlete. He's an ATH, and he can do things like that. And when you have special talent, you ask them to do special things, they do that. But you're starting to see Khalif Jemison slow down a little bit, you know, as he's back there returning kicks. He's doing cornerback plays. He's doing all types of active things. And now you get into the fourth quarter where stamina and all those things that you need as a quarterback, leadership, can't do that.
Yeah, definitely it could wear you down going into the fourth quarter when you're trying to put some drives together and you're taking a lot of hits. As Luna takes the kick, and it's going to be to the aforementioned Jemison. He's going to get it around the 5, and he's going to try to make some moves, and he's going to get away.
What is he dancing for?
As coaches are wondering why Jemison didn't go outside, but we're all up here. He's down there with 250-pound guys running at him, so it's going to be difficult for him to get away. But good special teams tackle by the Phantoms.
One thing I just noticed in that great camera angle that we just saw there was quarterback Chris Daniels. He's out there talking to the middle linebacker, the captain of the defense. He's out there talking to the coaches, helmet off, you know, communicating, being a leader. That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. When you're a quarterback and you're coming into the close games like this, you need to step up, sideline, verbally, physically, and emotionally.
Jemison, this time, it's going to be a penalty. A little more pushing and shoving. Let's see what the call
Prior
is.
to snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty.
False start on Woodside as you see the laundry on the field.
Got to think at this point, those yellow flags might turn green.
They could very much so. As now they turn pink as you see them on the.
Once again, the support of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
So 1st and 15 now. They're going to go to Phipps. Phipps gets an inside dive play.
With a Monday night football highlight of a spin move in the hole he had there. And another flag for unnecessary roughness after the play. It looks like on Woodside.
That's a tough one.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness.
Like I
A
said,
10-yard penalty.
it's one of those things.
Half the distance to goal.
The tension's been
Second
building
down.
all game.
Yes.
And we said that earlier, that these energies are going to start to build and build and build. And at some point, as a referee, you got to understand what's unnecessary roughness and what's playing through the play. If you look at that play, he's just completing his block all the way through the whistle.
That's it. That's
And
what
it's-
he's been taught.
And the back judge, out of all people, to throw the flag from something that happened on the line, that's a pretty accurate.
So it's going to be Phipps again. They're trying to go back to Phipps as he gets the carry. Minimal game.
And that's how they got their offense started last drive, was Phipps. Just trying to pound Phipps through the middle and get that nice, steady, power back running game going so they can open up Key over the top. They can get Jemerson some rest for one. And you're starting to see that Tyler Thompson in and around starting to sneak up, and wonder if that's going to be one of the plays they call here soon.
Almost like Woodside's playing it safe. I mean, you know.
3rd and 14 heading into the fourth quarter. At some point, you got to start taking some shots.
Yes. As Jemison in shotgun, Phipps in the backfield. Jemison back to pass, pressure. He gets sacked.
He will be taking down a solo sack. By number 51, Austin Gillum, a junior defensive tackle, 264-pound man.
So now you punt from your end zone with Jalen White with an opportunity to return this punt. Again, Phoebus will get great field position once again
30 seconds remaining in the third.
at the end of the third quarter. If Phoebus can put a nail in this game, if they can get another touchdown, it'll be really difficult for Woodside to come back.
Absolutely. You got 51 Gillum hobbling off the field now. Superstar linebacker jogging on the field.
Let's see if this could be another delay of game if they don't call timeout.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense.
Woodside just
5-yard
falling
penalty,
apart in this
4th
third
down.
quarter.
Absolutely.
You know, again, the goal line stand for Phoebus might have turned the tide of this game.
The momentum you can see
Yeah.
just left the Woodside sideline completely. When they had that goal line stand, it seems as if Woodside felt like they couldn't touch the end zone at all.
A couple bubble snaps and a penalty is almost blocked. Is going to get it off. This time Jalen Smith calls a fair catch, and he gets it at around the 35-yard line. Great field position for Phoebus. But that's going to end the third quarter.
Absolutely. As you head into the fourth quarter now. Well, here's some key points. If you're Woodside and if you're Phoebus, there's only one thing that is going to stop you from winning this game, and that is yourself.
Yes.
You can see all game the discipline, the flags, the unnecessary roughness, the offsides, the false starts, the delayed game. That even falls on the coaches.
Yes.
You know, it's all on how your team is self-disciplined. The most disciplined team is going to win this fourth quarter, and they're going to win this game.
Yeah, you're right. You know, you have Phoebus with the ball at the 35-yard line. If you don't beat yourself and you get a good drive going, you're up 2 scores at that point if you can get a touchdown. And it makes it really difficult for Woodside. They're going to have to try to go down the field, and you saw what kind of success they've had going down the field. Not much. So, again, if you don't beat yourselves and you put a drive together, Phoebus could be in good shape. But on the Woodside side of things, they had played pretty good defense,
right now,
regarding them on the defensive line, and the linebackers just gave up a couple big plays.
Absolutely, and if you're the Woodside Wolverines right now, you can't be down on yourself in your offensive play. You've driven down the field on the Phoebus Phantoms 3 times, have gotten to the goal in the red zone, twice to the goal line.
Who's calling the numbers? Down here?
So you got first and 10 from the 35.
And you can see the head umpire here having a bit of a conversation with the 2 captains on the team, telling them to keep this fourth quarter together here. Sure, that was a conversation. We've seen a plethora of unnecessary roughness.
Yes.
Penalties this game.
High stakes game, emotions are high. You want to make sure it's clean, though.
Don't want anyone getting hurt.
Absolutely not. As it's first and 10 from the 35. This time Jalen White gets it, tiptoes around. He
Runs
uses
a man
strength.
over.
Yeah. See Jalen White showing a little strength here as he cuts through the line. So they gave him 5 on that. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
Looks like
second and 5 from the 30.
Looks like the Phoebus Phantoms have found a gap there to shoot against linebacker number 22 there against the Woodside Wolverines side of the ball. They've been running his direction all night now with success.
Back to Jalen.
As Big
Jalen
Rios
White
has his first tackle of the night.
Jalen White, the ball carrier, he's knocked himself by big number 78 on the play, Xavier Rios.
They're going to give Jalen White some carries on this drive. I haven't seen Turner yet.
Half a yard, we'll call it 3rd and 5.
So it's going to be 3rd and 5. No gain on that last run by White. So 3rd and 4 from the 31. They did give him 1 yard. Low snap again.
Free
Daniels
runner going against him. Got a screen
gives it off
here.
to Jalen White. A little screen pass. A screen pass to Jalen White, and that's going to be it's going to be a fourth down.
About a loss of a yard there on that screen pass. They had the free runners and the blitzers that they wanted in order to complete that screen, but a shoestring tackle made by none other than Seth Otala.
So Phoebus is going to go for it here. It's going to be 4th and 3. Daniels, good snap that time. He's going to go back to pass.
And he's had a wide open, and I mean wide open. Is that 28?
That looks like, yeah, number 28.
Yeah, number 28 there coming out of the slot. Keyshawn Pruitt, wide receiver, and a defensive back, a junior. As you can see him hit that seam. If you watch on the left side of your screen, the top side of your screen, you see him on the seam against a linebacker, Notala, who misses his chip and passes him off to passes him off to Jimerson, who wasn't as aggressive on the pass off as Notala was. So now if Notala hits that chip, the linebacker hits that chip, it slows down the slot man in order for the corner to switch over. However, things didn't work out in that order, but quarterback Daniels completely missed it.
Looks like Daniels, when he didn't see that first read, he just took off. Goes back to Phipps. Phipps has a hole, and they're going to throw a flag.
That's unnecessary roughness. 2 flags there at the end. Number 75 there, holding and unnecessary roughness on the same player. Cameron Lawrence, the senior, 5'8", 265, can't keep his head on his shoulders, it seems like, after going back and forth with some Phoebus High School players all game.
He's battling the trenches there.
Absolutely, and you know the trenches battle is just mental as it is physical.
During the play, holding, offense. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the offense. That half the distance will also be enforced. First down.
So you're going to add a holding and an unnecessary roughness onto that one.
Absolutely. Looks like they have to move the ball back some more, I believe. Yeah, because you got a 15-yard penalty. You had a half a distance to the goal. So it looks like about 24 yards in total penalty yards on that last play. Because you're at about a 13, you know, half the distance to that. It's about 7, right?
7, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if they're trying to figure out where they're going to place the ball.
Yeah, it looks like they have to back it up now. Yep, they were trying to figure out. Okay. That's a bad ball placement, but it's okay. Looked like that was about 3 yards instead of 7 there, but it's all right. As you look at the Woodside Wolverines here, shooting themselves in the foot on that last play. Number 75, the left tackle, couldn't keep his head contained and got 2 penalties in one play, but see if they can erase that and have short-term memory loss and try to put together a drive here and score against these Phoebus Phantoms.
So 1st and 10 at the 11.
Lined up in the traditional wing.
And they keep going to Phipps, which surprises me a little. Maybe they're trying to open something up, but you know, you have Key, who they've been targeting most of the night, and Thompson hasn't really gotten the ball much for Woodside.
And that's what I thought they were going to do more, honestly. I told you earlier to watch Tyler Thompson on that in and around. I thought they were building it up with the dive and the goes and the gut drives, and it seems like they weren't trying to call his number. It seems like.
That's not
However,
your twin,
they
is
do
it?
have Key.
Tyler and Kyler. That's not your Thompson.
That's not. I mean, he
No
might be
relation.
related to me. You know, Tyler and Kyler Thompson. We might be related somewhere down the line, but he's definitely a great athlete. And if I am related to him, I'd be proud.
Shotgun by Jimerson as he goes out, roll out.
He's got a wide open man far right, and I think that's the man Tyler. Straight out of bounds.
And
He had a man open for a while, and that was Tyler Thompson.
And they've been trying to get him the ball. Not as many touches as we thought he would have today. And you're right, it was to Thompson. But now it's going to be a 3rd down and 29 for Woodside. So
Got Jimerson lining up in the shotgun here.
this time Jimerson's going to keep.
Take it himself. Up the left sideline. Makes a couple men miss. We'll see if they throw that.
That time the player was
He
already
gets about
engaged.
19 of those
Yeah.
39 yards back.
See what Woodside's going to do here. I would think they would go for it at this point.
I don't know. They have a solid defense. I think they might trust their defense and try to punt this one away. Coach Danny Dotson and the Woodside offense and that great coaching staff they have. Let's see what they can cook up here on 4th and about 15, seems like.
Man, they're going to go for it.
Cool.
So it's going to be a
Timeout.
timeout. Woodside.
Wolverines will take a timeout. Number 48 remaining in the red.
So it is 4th and 15 here for Woodside at the what? The 21-yard line.
Their own 21-yard line here.
So this could be the game if they can't convert. Phoebus would get a great opportunity to put another one in there.
And you got to think to that timeout. They're committed to this drive, the Woodside Wolverines. Coach Danny Dotson is committed to this drive by calling that timeout.
So 4th
and 15, and
they're going to punt.
Coach Dotson has a great vote of faith in his defense, I believe. Get about a 30-yard punt there.
You take your chances with the defense at this point at midfield versus at the 21-yard line.
Absolutely. But the way the field position is looking, it's not working in Woodside's favor right now. As their punter doesn't have the biggest foot.
No. So 1st and 10 at midfield for Phoebus. Let's see if they go to Turner or White. And that's, they go back to both. Now both of them are in the game now as they put White in the slot, actually on the far side. Little bunch formation for Phoebus. Usually it's a pass, and they're going to go to a run by Turner. Turner breaks
spins off and breaks down the middle of the field. 20, 10, and you can kiss this game goodbye.
It was a matter of time, Kyler, before Turner got a big break.
Absolutely. Anthony A.J. Turner breaks for about a 50-yard run right up the middle of that Wolverines defense. And he's just been patient all night, waiting for his ticket to be called.
Looks like he spun off a couple defenders, kept his legs moving. There is a flag, but I think it's going to be after the play. Maybe excessive celebration.
Absolutely, excessive celebration. Once again, that falls onto. Now things are getting a little feisty there. You see guys are starting to talk a little bit extracurricular after the play.
So touchdown is
The result
good.
of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting against Phoebus. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff. Try for point.
So touchdown Phoebus.
Well, as you can see, Anthony Turner got flagged for taunting on that one, but him nor the Phoebus sideline cares because they are having a great game right now. That was a great play, and they're all celebrating with each other on the sideline now. As you can see, a great kick. Great kick there by Luna. Probably kicked it to the sideline, I believe. As you can see, an enthused Coach Blunt there, excited his guys going out there and getting it done.
You see the cheerleaders getting into it. Here's the replay here. As you see Turner.
Oh, yeah, that was a simple.
Definitely. Oh, yeah, he put the B button on everybody on that.
Absolutely. I'm a PlayStation man, so I know circle, but it's okay.
I know B button, old school B button.
No, but on a serious note, Anthony A.J. Turner, that was one of the more highlights, one of the more serious highlights of the night.
So Turner with a spin move gets the touchdown, and that's
Shakes a little
21-6.
dice with his lineman
Yeah.
after the play there.
You know, we questioned why they kept going inside, and now we know why. Just to get Turner, they knew that play was there. And, you know, when you have, you went with White in the last drive, and then you come back with Turner on this, basically the same play they've been running all night, but this time he busted it open.
I'm going to be honest with you. On that one, that was the same exact off-tackle running play they've been running on that even man side, off that right tackle side. And it's just the vision by A.J. Turner that got them that touchdown. To see the whole claw up, spin, and to have the whereabouts to stay on his feet and hit that second acceleration, now we know why he has offers from UVA and Old Dominion, and I'm sure more to come. See a short kick by Phoebus. That goes out of bounds.
And, of course, Coach Blunt talked about how Turner is a Phoebus back, typical Phoebus back. Speed, power, agility. And let's see what this flag is. Obviously kicked out of bounds, which is surprising. Maybe just take the ball down the field and let Woodside take their chances by going. But they're going to give Woodside more of a chance to score now. They're going to get good field position here. Maybe they're going to make them re-kick. We'll see.
Well, if it's a re-kick, you got to be a little upset for the Wolverines. Because you got the ball in a great field position here, almost identical to where the Phoebus Phantoms just got it. However, I think we might have called the game a little premature. You got 7 minutes on the clock.
Plenty of time.
It's plenty of time for a comeback. Try to get Khalif Jameson active in that spread offense again. Get him back comfortable in that pocket. It seems like he's not as comfortable as he was in the first half. Even after throwing an interception on the first play, he had more confidence in the second quarter than he does now, it seems like. And I think that goes back to the vote of stamina I was talking about.
Absolutely.
Him getting tired, him playing cornerback return, all these
Illegal
things,
kick
that's
out
fine,
of
but
bounds.
at what point?
Kicking team. Ball be placed at the 50-yard line. First down.
And you notice they went to more to Phipps.
Yeah, and if you're going to sacrifice your offense for your quarterback to gain energy on offense, that's counterproductive.
Right,
that's counterproductive.
Right.
Is he that important to the defense as a corner?
Yes.
That he can't run his own offense.
You're right.
And hopefully now he's going to turn that switch on. That's what it looks like. He's going to let it rip.
Good throw.
And he's got number 7, Key.
And
That's about a 30-yard gain. That was a great play. That's the confidence he had in the first quarter. That is the type of swagger he had in the pocket. Roll out, boom, find your man. Key takes advantage of the rest.
And Key found a little soft spot in that Phoebus defense, and Jemison rolls out and finds his favorite target, Key, for the reception. So first down now and 10 at the Phoebus 30. Jemison back to pass again.
Looks like the same play to the right. He has another man open, and it's almost picked off.
And that was Jalen White.
Absolutely, number 12, senior Jalen White. As you can see, Jemison was entirely too late with this throw.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that, especially across your body like that.
Across the body, on the run, late, and then you throw it behind your man.
Yeah, that's asking for a disaster. But luckily, White wasn't able to hold on to it. It's incomplete.
And it almost looked like they ran the same exact play, just
on the other side, right?
Absolutely. They got that mirrors concept going on right now with the spread offense. Got two different route trees on 2 different sides.
So now you got
see the big number 5, the Woodside Wolverines off-brand Gronkowski out there. Pretty big fella, if I don't say so myself.
Let's see what this is. Might be a delay of game.
Prior to the snap, delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
You know, penalties have been the story of this game, along with the defense. And both teams have been victimized by the penalty flags. So now it's going to be 2nd and 15 for Woodside.
In the fourth quarter.
Phoebus showing blitz. Jemison back in the pocket, and it's going to be overthrown. It's going to be 3rd and long now.
You got to wonder what he was looking at on that play, Khalif Jemison.
You know, and another thing, too, is with Woodside, when they do fall behind, you put them in position. It's a lot easier to run that wing T when you're up, but when you're falling behind, you have to make some moves down the field. This is what you get with Jemison and Key. They are a good combination, but they're not used to doing this on a game-by-game basis.
So you got to think, though, do you think this bounces back and is a bit of a mistake by Coach Dodson to go away from this traditional wing T he's used to? Looks like another, is that a timeout? Yep.
Timeout.
That's going to be
Woodside.
That is the last
their
timeout
last
of the
timeout.
game.
Yeah. No more timeouts for Woodside now at this point. As it's 21-6, 6:56 left in the game. And it's going to be a 3rd and 15 for Woodside.
I think now Coach Dodson is going to dial up one of those plays to one of his big players, try to get one of his big players, get in some space, make something happen, get a quick score.
Maybe Key. Key has been the key back for their offense.
Yeah.
So, Jemison's going to go to Key probably on the outside, or Thompson, somebody that we thought would be a key in this game.
Absolutely.
Hasn't been much of a factor to this point.
I mean, they've got great receivers. They got the big number 5. You've got Thompson. You've got Key. You got these guys, and you even got the Toller brothers, who I'm sure could catch a football at this point.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they can. They do everything else except sell the popcorn tonight.
Yeah.
So
actually, near this crowd, start to get that traditional Phoebus chant going.
So Jemison in the shotgun, goes back to pass. Has some
yeah.
time.
He's open.
And it's going to be incomplete.
As he underthrows Tyler Thompson. And it looks like Tyler and Key were open there for a second as Key was streaking across the field, coming from left to right on a cross route. You see here at the bottom of your screen, he makes a good move on the corner.
Nice move.
And jabs right into open space. But it seems like Khalif Jemison is just afraid to throw that ball.
Yeah, it was a good break off the ball by Key.
Absolutely. I think now might be the time where the Phoebus Phantoms dial in a game-ending blitz.
So it's 4th and 15. Might be Woodside's last shot at the end zone. If they don't get in here, it's going to go to Thompson. They're going to do a halfback pass. Thompson back to pass, and he is going to be caught.
Is that a touchdown?
Touchdown by
That is
Woodside.
an amazing catch by Key. That is an ESPN caliber live ball, 50-50, you or me.
And it was and Thompson, the former quarterback, does the throw.
And that goes to vote that Tyler Thompson.
It's a flag on the play,
Is that
though.
illegal man downfield? There's no way.
Ineligible man downfield against the offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
I'm going to repeat the down.
That completely takes away an amazing catch by Key.
Oh, great play by Key. And a
Ricky
great
Key,
throw by
an amazing
Thompson.
Catch. Absolutely. And Thompson, mind you, threw that ball with his gloves on.
Yeah. Yes,
It was a bit of a duck, but it got there.
And Key just made it look amazing as he jumped over, I think it was Jackson getting coverage.
It was an Antonio Brown-esque catch
Yeah.
right there. Just jump on my
For
body
sure.
and do anything I have to do to get the ball. And you got to blame that illegal man downfield on the wing T.
Yeah,
How many
exactly.
men are on the
Yep.
line, how many men are off the line, and you're doing a trick play, halfback pass.
And you're so used to
Everything
you're
has
so
to be
accustomed
perfect.
to, right?
Everything has to be perfect in order for you not to get that ineligible man downfield call.
So they get pushed back 5 more yards. Jemison this time back to pass. They're going to run a
Screen play for
screen.
Key.
That's going to be flags all over the field. And it's definitely going to be short. Let's see what they call here. Maybe a hold.
And you can see the Phoebus Phantom defense dropped 9 on that play and only rushed 2. They're in full prevent mode. As you can see, they're running a bit of a Patriots defense there with the stand-up defensive lineman standing over top of them, not knowing who's dropping, who's not.
Didn't see much there. I'm not sure what they call, but we'll see here.
Door to play. Holding. Offense. Penalties decline. First down.
Well, Phoebus declines it, and they get the ball. At this point, you can, with no timeouts left on Woodside, you can basically eat the clock up here.
Now, I might be a believer in miracles. However, unless Seth and Koa take this ball right now on defense, the Woodside Wolverines will need a miracle. Because they haven't stopped Anthony A.J. Turner all second half. It looks like they're going to go in a victory formation.
They're going to go to Jalen White now, the other running back for
Makes
Phoebus.
a couple miss in the backfield. I'd have lost it too.
And now if you're Phoebus, you have to definitely try to prevent the fumble. You have to hold on to the ball because that's what Woodside's going to be going for, the ball at this point.
Absolutely.
But they can't stop the clock. No timeouts left for Woodside.
This is a slugfest too.
With all the shutouts that Woodside has had this year, Phoebus with 2 offensive touchdowns, of course, and that 1 pick six. A little shifting around by the Woodside defense. It's Daniels under center now. Goes to White.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Phoebus has switched their cadence in the second half. I don't think they've gone on 1, but 5 times the second half.
Yeah.
They've been snapping the ball on 2 and on 3, trying to see how disciplined this Woodside defensive line really is. That just goes to speak on their own discipline as an offensive line.
That makes a lot of difference because, you know, that's how you get some offsides calls and get them off guard there. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 as Phoebus playing really conservative at this point. So it's going to be a pass. Daniels is going to roll out. He's going to throw it. And Gray is going to.
Oh, he undershoots it.
It's going to be a flag. It's going to be a sideline warning.
Kamari Gray on that one. Looks like he got the ball lost in the lights because he is a 50-50 man, like Coach Blunt said, and he can go up and grab this.
Oh, yeah, he could have got that.
Then you got to wonder, is Khalif Jemerson too
Ball
tired?
play, incomplete.
Because that
Fourth
right
down.
there was an intercepted, gifted in his hands.
Yes.
Interception,
It's good
gifted
coverage,
in his
yeah.
hands. Seems like there's been about over 15 flags called in total.
At
10
least.
on each team, maybe.
I would say.
And, you know, we were talking about the unsportsmanlike conduct and unnecessary roughness calls we've been seeing. It's probably about 6 of those on each team,
for
too.
sure.
It's been a scrappy game like we predicted. A game of the trenches and a game for the undisputed, no longer recognized Peninsula District title.
Absolutely. Still means something in this area, even though it's not official with the different conferences teams go in now. This is going to take a Phoebus bounce. And let's see what Woodside can do. As we thought the game was over at that point, but with Phoebus not being able to move the ball and get first downs.
Well, you can see Phoebus tried to put them away on that one. They tried to put them away with that deep play action 9 ball.
With Gray.
They got the one-on-one man coverage they wanted. Only, unfortunately, Kamari Gray didn't come up with it. 6'2" wide receiver, 174 pounds.
Yeah, and with Phoebus, for the rest of the way, they're gonna see those one-on-one matches on the outside, knowing that Turner and White are gonna run in between the tackles.
Absolutely.
So now you have Thompson and Key both outside here. As Jeminson's coming this way, he's gonna go back to pass, and he sees Key again as Key takes a huge hit by Davenport, but still holds on to it.
That speaks on the toughness of Key there to go up and grab that catch in the heart of the safety.
Most players would like to take a business decision and let that one go, but Key knew he was going to get hit by Davenport and still held on to it. So a first down for Woodside as they continue to go down the field again on Phoebus, and this time it's going to be a run by Jemison. Oh, and that's a tough one. And they're gonna,
I was wondering if they're going to throw that flag. You can see Davenport with a little bit of extra push there. He's a quarterback. He was already down. But at this point, that's an unnecessary flag.
Yeah, it is.
That is an unnecessary flag. Well, now we can add to that 20-plus flag count.
I guess they're going to call a late hit. Silver had him.
He's
Yeah,
down.
Yeah, he's down.
The late hit comes here when he pushes him, all that. The extracurricular after the whistle is blown. You would think these refs are trying to get into the Super Bowl officiating
Making
crew.
their resume real here.
Hey, everybody's got to eat, right?
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Flag fest.
Definitely been a flag fest. And either one of these teams can go back home and go back in that film room and see clearly.
Yep.
If you have half the amount of penalties you had, you win this game.
Right.
No matter the score.
Right.
Because the scores came out of big plays.
Right.
So if you look back at the film work at this and you say, oh, we just weren't disciplined enough. And that is what you need when you're going into these playoffs. You need a game like this.
That is right. Jemison back to pass.
It makes a man miss, breaks his ankle.
He's going to throw across the field, and it's going to be incomplete, intended for Thompson, one of the most dangerous plays.
Across the field, across his body, on the run. That is what we call a triple negative.
Dangerous play by Jemison that time. Mr. Stevenson was putting pressure on him.
Stevenson hit with a little bit of Allen Iverson there in the backfield. He thought he had a sack and
Little crossover action.
absolutely Khalif Jemerson managed to get out of that hold.
Iverson just brought his crossovers back.
I saw that. Giving them over there to Phoebus High School basketball players already this season. Probably not. Just Bethel.
Yeah, I think Bethel's taken care of for sure.
Of course.
With the Iversons, as Jemison goes back.
He's facing a lot of pressure. Again, there's going to be a holding call.
And another across the field pass. This time it's going to be a hold against Woodside.
Absolutely. That's going to go against number 44. Koa Notala. That is probably the first thing he's done wrong all
Yeah,
night.
exactly. Both of them, both the brothers have been playing very well tonight. Very impressed by them.
Absolutely, absolutely. One thing you can do if you're Woodside, you can go home and lick your wounds and be happy about this loss. You can know that you stood up to Phoebus
Holding.
toe-to-toe
Offense.
a lot
10-yard
better than
penalty
most
from
other
the spot
PD
of foul.
schools.
I agree.
Second down.
Absolutely. Phoebus has been blowing cats out left and right. And Woodside came in here with a different mindset. And they came in here trying to win this game. And I truly believe if they were a little bit more disciplined,
Yep.
they would have won this game.
I agree.
What team can throw a pick six first play of the game, come out, and still drive the ball 80 yards next
And you know that's what I was wondering how they were going to react to that. And they went right down the field. And again, that goal line stand on the end on the third quarter, they punch that in or get some points out of it. It's a different game. So Jemison in the shotgun goes back to pass. Again, he goes to Key, almost picked off. Key gets it, and Key splits two defenders and almost got away from that.
And that's one of those screen plays you saw called a lot about 4 years ago in college. It's an alley screen, a wide receiver alley screen, and that was a perfect play. It was perfectly designed, perfectly executed. Key just couldn't get away from that last tackler.
Yeah, Key, another. I like the way he plays. He's a very good good receiver. He has an injured
To go up and go get it kind of guy.
And Coach Dotson talked about how underrated he was. Stepped up last year, and now he's a senior.
Campus City Schools Athletic Department is proud to be sponsored this year by the following companies: Stratham's Bowling Lane, Sports Hampton,
It's 3:25 left
Van Costner's Restaurant, Children's Hospital of the King's Daughter, Chick-fil-A,
in this ball game.
Coca-Cola, Recruit 757, Best Choice Insurance, Nationwide Insurance, La Mata Chiropractic,
21-6, 3:25 left. 3rd and 18 for Woodside.
Big thank you to all these businesses for their generous donations.
As that is
We're able to purchase more equipment for our student athletes.
the injured player for Phoebus is number 38.
Number 38, off under his own foul.
That is Tavon Rutledge, a senior, trying to get some play time in his senior night.
And then he seems to be okay, walks off the field, and it's going to be a 3rd and 18 now for Woodside. You see Silver coming off that edge, gets blocked, and it's going to be out of bounds. As Key, again, got some separation from the DB.
Khalif is just running for his life back there. That pocket presence is something that he has been able to display this game, and his sensibility within the collapsing of the pocket. However, he's still getting flustered when he runs out of that pocket. 9 times out of 10, he's throwing it out of bounds.
That time Silver came around the edge, put some pressure on Jemison, so it's going to be 4th and 18 now. 3:13 left. This game has been stretched longer than we would like because of the penalties and the passing game. But Woodside's still trying to put some points on the board here. As he calls for Phipps to go in motion, he goes far side. And another penalty on the play.
He didn't run up to the line of scrimmage. It has to be a legal
Prior
motion.
snap. Delay the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Play a game now.
4th down.
Woodside, we've seen a few of those in the second half.
Absolutely. I think it's about 5 of them,
Yep.
actually.
Yeah, the stats won't look good. I mean, obviously the main stat is the W, the win. But if you're a coach, you don't like the delay of games and the penalties and the unsportsmanlike.
Absolutely not. If you're Phoebus, if you're Coach Blunt, Phoebus High School, you're not happy or satisfied with this one.
Jemison back to pass. Again, going for a favorite receiver. Key's going to be out of bounds. He catches it, but it's going to be incomplete. It's going to be Phoebus football now. And looking ahead, Woodside will close their season out right back here at Darling Stadium against the Bethel Bruins. And Phoebus still has 2 games left. They have to play Heritage and the makeup game against Minchfield that they did not play early in the season because of weather. So these teams gearing up for the playoffs. And, you know, just again, I'm just glad that this game was at the end of the year. So now you have an opportunity to get better and close out your season and get ready for the playoffs. This will definitely move Phoebus up in the rankings. I think Woodside in that tough 5A division with the likes of Maury and Salem, they're going to probably drop a spot or 2.
Absolutely. And Phoebus is going to get a lot of power points off of this by beating the Wolverines in that powerhouse of a conference they're in now. And like I said earlier, Coach Dodson has been through a lot of changes this year. He's had a couple losses on the coaching staff. He switched conferences. You know, he's having to deal with seniors graduating last year, the constant rotation.
Prior to the delay of game, timeout, Phoebus.
So timeout by Phoebus, and you're right. Loses two of his assistants to other schools. You know, graduating great players, reloading, moving to a new division.
Speaks volume on him as a coach and their whole program over there at Woodside High School. It speaks volume on everything they've got going on over there.
Been real consistent. You're right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can see some of the older guys coming back in, helping on the sidelines. The Woodside Wolverines have a bright future.
It also puts kids in at the next level too. A few Woodside kids have played on the college level.
Now on the other side of the ball, the Phoebus Phantoms. I'm not satisfied upon the Phoebus Phantoms.
No.
I've been blowing people out all game, all year, all season. I get 2 offensive touchdowns. My defense saves me in the first half.
Yes. You know,
and then undisciplined Woodside Wolverines saved me in the second half.
Yeah, you definitely don't like the penalties in the offensive production. You take the win, and you know that this is a tough team, and you knew it would be a tough game.
Absolutely. This is a close game. Up until the first play of the 4th quarter, this is a very close game.
Another flag has been thrown. That's going to be against Phoebus.
I tell you, man, these refs are going to have to ice their arms after this one.
During the run, illegal block in the back. Offense, 10-yard penalty.
10-yard penalty for Phoebus. Is blocking the back.
Replay first down.
So, first and 20 for Phoebus. 2:49 left in this game. And this second half is moved along pretty slowly with all the flags. You see Harrell going up to the line. And, you know, Phoebus has that bunch formation. Kind of confuses you. That's how you can get sucked into the run and they can go to a pass. I'm sure they'll go to a run here as they go to Turner as he goes up the middle again. That's probably the same play he ran a touchdown on. As he's going to get stopped for maybe a 2-yard gain. The clock still runs, and if you're Phoebus, that's what you want. You want to have 2 opponents, and that's Woodside and the clock. So Phoebus, you're in no hurry. As Turner looks like he's limping off a little bit. Looks like number 22 is trying to check in for Phoebus. And then he comes back out, and that's Calvin Bunch. And now Phoebus calls a timeout.
Timeout, Phoebus.
One of the longest high school games we've done here on LSC.
In a while. We could have went to triple overtime for this.
Yeah, for sure. You see the Phoebus band.
They had a great competition show out today in Williamsburg. They've had a long day, and I'm sure they're just as ready as anyone to go on home.
You see the dancers. Love to see the support from different parts of the school. The band and cheerleaders are here. Administration's here. Student body. It's a good football night. As Phoebus will move to another win in the victory column. Because again, they
And will hand the undefeated Woodside Wolverines their
first
loss of the season.
Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of running on Monday.
Oh, for sure. Jalen White gets the carry. He's still moving.
You know who Jalen White reminds me of? James Conner.
Oh, the Steelers? Yeah, the way he runs.
Yeah. He doesn't go down on that first hit, and he finds a way to squirt through those small slivers of holes. Keeps his feet moving and churning. It's going to be a late hit on the Woodside defense, I believe.
It's like maybe a helmet-to-helmet. A little frustration now, taking the toll of the Woodside Wolverines.
During the run, personal foul, illegal helmet contact against the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run.
Another flag.
Results in a first down.
It's like it threw another flag on Woodside. And now they're just falling apart.
I guess the players are talking a little bit too much there. And if I'm Phoebus here,
Gotta keep your cool.
keep it cool and get in the victory formation. Go ahead, take a knee, balance out your
After the play,
sportsmanship.
unsportsmanlike conduct on the
Again,
defense.
high-stakes game.
Another 15 yards be added.
Absolutely.
First down.
The only thing you don't want to do now if you're the Phoebus Phantoms is get one of those unnecessary roughness calls
Yeah.
and get a player suspended.
Yeah, you just want to keep your cool.
That's
and
the
just
last
go in.
thing you want to
Yep.
do. So you want to go in that nil formation or go in that dive formation, whatever you want to do. Just get these guys off the field on the bus.
I mean, if you're Phoebus, do you think about punching one in? I mean, that's like a 30-yard penalty.
Yeah, they're looking at the 27, 24-yard line right here. I believe Coach Blunt.
I think he has too much respect.
Yeah, he's going to keep the ball on the ground here.
Too much respect for Coach Dotson. He won't try anything here. Just try to run the clock out.
Now, if the running back runs in the end zone.
Still trying to discuss what's going on here with the play. It's going to be 1st and 10. And they're going to just take a knee and just get out of
Victory
here.
formation. Like I said, Coach Blunt has a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Dotson, and it was a well-fought game. And you look at the undefeated, well, no longer undefeated Woodside Wolverines. They head into the next week's matchup against the Bethel Bruins, and that's going to be a dogfight as well. You can't sleep on those Bethel Bruins over there. They've got a great program building up. They've got good things they're trying to do with their traditions and their virtues. So you can't sleep on them if you're the Woodside Wolverines.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Bethel. You know, Coach Inconvenience comes back home, played at Bethel, was a state champion wrestler at Bethel. So, you know, he's trying to build a new culture. And, you know, Woodside, who knows how they'll act after this loss, playing the Bruins next week. As you see, Daniels taking another knee to seal the game. And the Peninsula District lead goes to Phoebus as they take a win here, and they could very well be a district champions once again this year if they finish out.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one thing you have to realize here, if you're the Phoebus Phantoms, is you can't be happy with this win.
Well,
you see Coach Blunt on the sideline. He's happy with the win, but he's not satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at this point of the year, you want to win, but then you also, they know it's towards the end of the year, so you want to get better.
Yes. And when you get better, that means on every level of football. Mentally, physically, offense, defense, special teams. And the number one most thing from this game especially is discipline.
Right.
Because like we said earlier, Woodside or Phoebus could have won this game all based on discipline.
I mean, you talk about the pick six.
Over 200 yards in penalties.
Right.
Easily.
Right. Yep. Talk about the pick six. You know, Phoebus did score 2 offensive touchdowns. The goal line stand was key for me in that third quarter.
Absolutely.
You know, Woodside had the ball first and goal at the 1, and Phoebus stops them and finishes off the game, and they win 21-6 here at Darling Stadium. Kyler, your final thoughts?
Absolutely. Final thoughts here are the Phoebus Phantoms are a team to be reckoned with, and they will be making a run in this year's state championship.
So stay tuned to LSC for the playoff season. We have some teams from the Peninsula District going to the playoffs. But the final here, Phoebus 21, Woodside 6. See you next time, LSC Sports.